Hey, what's going on, guys? Xbox All In channel, host Sega Forever here. Doing something a little bit different for the channel. We're going to do an all in cast. If any of the guys want to jump in, I'll definitely send them a link. Not going to be on too long, maybe about an hour, maybe an hour and a half if they stretch it. A little bit busy today. Actually been busy all week, but I wanted to get my thoughts out there on all the stuff that was going on. Decided to do an online cast because I want to cover pop culture in general. I've been talking about doing this podcast for the longest time. I'm gonna kind of fly solo on this one, but like I said, if any of the guys want to jump in, it's just gonna be not as long as I normally would like it when we have the entire crew in here, because I want people to have the time to give their thoughts, especially when you cover a whole plethora of topics that we're going to be going over today. If you guys haven't seen the description, I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on in pop culture. You guys know I'm a pro Xbox channel, so we're definitely going to cover that. If you don't mind, just give me some time um, to see if I can. It's on the fly, guys. I just came back from the gym. That's what you got to do when you're old. You got to go to the gym, which is hilarious because before I used to go to the gym like everybody else when you're a younger dude, and you try and try and get yourself bigger. Especially when I was growing up, man, the monster look was in at the gym. It's not like how it is now, man. Which I think is good. You know, like everything else, things change. And when it comes to lifting and stuff like that, when at least when I was doing it, man, I mean, I lifted, I lifted with guys like whose nickname was Larry the Meat Cutter, and these guys are no joke, man. When you showed up to the gym, dude, you're just gonna lift heavy, you're gonna lift hard. So it's not like that anymore. Gyms have changed quite a bit. Hey, what's up, brother? Keep out in the house. Bro, you wanna jump in? I just kicked this off just now, kind of impromptu, because I got stuff to do today with the kids. It's funny, I had some people asking me why have I been so busy, like with my kids and everything like that. And Hebot can definitely attest to this, man. But for me personally, man, my kids will be graduating soon. My daughter already did, and they'll be going to college. So I highly recommend that if you guys can get your kids in programs where there's scholarship, definitely do that, man. It's definitely better than taking out a loan, man, because these dudes are predators. I'm pretty sure you guys hear all in the news about people taking out student loans, can't pay them back and stuff like that because of the interest, the job market and stuff like that. So if you can get your kids in any type of program, do definitely do that. Um, because if you can get scholarship money for them where you don't have to pay, and of course, nothing in life is free, which we'll talk about a little bit when it comes to Game Pass, man. It's kind of irritating me that people are out here saying about how Game Pass is free, and how Microsoft is going to lose money. And it's kind of irritating because it's not the case in any kind of way. But um, you are paying for Game Pass, and not only you. When you have 20 million subscribers, and I think Microsoft has more. Um, when you have 20 million subscribers, it's not just you paying; it's all of them paying. So Microsoft is making money, right? Oh, dude, what's going on here, man? Hey, bear with me, guys. I'm trying to get this stuff done. What's up, dude? Yeah, let me. Here we go, brother. I'm gonna shoot one to you right now. I'm gonna jump in on this podcast. I see you, bro. I see you, guys. If you guys hear any background noise, let me know. I got the fan on. Like I said, I just came back from the gym, and when you're old, man, and I live in Hawaii, dude, it's hot, so I need to have a fan on. Yeah, but I sent it, man. If you want to jump in, let me know. You should see it. I sent it to you on Twitter. Pepe Le Pew, man, welcome. Yep, totally, man. That's why I try and install in my kids too, man. Because there's this attitude of like you can get something for nothing, you know. And then on the front end, man, you might think you might get something for free, but there's always a catch, and there's always, like you said, Pepe, there's always a catch, definitely. And then somebody's paying for it. If it's not you or the person you're dealing with, somebody down the road is paying for it. Yeah, there you go, brother. Yeah, that's why I'm willing to put in the time and the effort, especially for my kids, of course. But to help them out, dude. I don't want these guys strapped with debt, dude. Yeah, me and Heba, no, man. We come from those. Pepe, I don't know if you're the same, man, but we come from a time where it was like a privilege to go eat out, right? Um, you know, our parents tried to give us the best. I mean, but I didn't get most of the stuff that I like uh, until I got my own job, man. Until I was making my own money, which is fine. But even then, dude, you still had bills to pay, bro. I grew up. I kind of grew up as like I got my job and I was able to help out buying food around the house and paying for rent. I was going to a school where I had to pay tuition, so I could handle all that and I helped my grandmother tremendously because that's what raised me. But yeah, take your time, brother. Take your time. There's gonna be something light, man. I mean, like I said, I kind of want to do this like at this time during Saturday mornings. Um, I just didn't want to step on Sega Man's. I know he does Saturday podcast, and I saw he did one for Major Nelson, and I want to talk about that a little bit, dude. I mean, it's like I feel bad. It's like we just can't go through a week where everything's totally positive. As you can say, the title of this is best week ever for Xbox, and it was an incredible week. I'm pretty sure you guys have been keeping up. If you guys didn't keep up with the whole thing, which I definitely did, it's the whole AKB merger thing, Microsoft AKB. If you guys didn't keep up with that whole thing, I totally understand. I'm the type of person that likes that stuff, man. I've been following this ever since it kicked off. This has been something that's been going on for actually a couple of years because Microsoft's trying to flip the script, man, trying to change the way the gaming industry is going to be moving forward, and you can see that firsthand, especially with the news coming out that the FTC failed to block the Microsoft deal, which is what they were trying to do, which is absolutely horrendous. It's glad to see a lot of people who are gamers. I know I like to use the term politics are local. All politics are local, but it's nice to see a lot of the gamers and stuff like that getting involved and beginning to realize how politics actually affect you. Um, that's why I put on my Twitter, elections have consequences. Right? A lot of these guys, like in the event of Lina Kahn, these people are appointed. Some of them go before a panel and they get, they're supposed to get vetted there. But a lot of times, as you guys know, depending on who's in office, who's in charge, that kind of stuff flows through. So regardless of what the person says, it's actually their actions after they get into the office that speaks volumes. So and gamers saw that firsthand with the FTC, right? Which is and I said this from the very beginning, dude. This was very politically charged, right? It had nothing to do with the gaming industry. It had nothing to do with consumers. It had nothing to do with the PlayStation or the Xbox side or the Nintendo side or even PC. None of that. They didn't care about any of that. That was just a means to an end. That's just the stuff that they needed to get their foot in the door because regulators at the bottom line, especially in this day and age, really care about regulating. Right? You got to remember that, like I said, these jobs that these people have, they're civil servants at the end of the day, and but their job relies on them. Their job actually relies on them. You know, in order for them to survive, unlike the private sector, where a business, if they make a mistake, you see that a lot in the gaming industry when a company makes a game, somebody says something stupid and the game doesn't sell well, bam, right? That company's gone within the next couple weeks. That's how bad it is, especially in today's economy. Blake Point going free to play on PS5. Oh yeah, dude, I saw that. Naraka Blake Point. I saw that paper. Yeah, I think it's good for them, man. I think the season pass thing is good. Um, I look, dude. I believe in consumer choice, dude. I honestly do. If they can make their money on that kind of stuff by giving people what they want. Now, on the flip side of that, if they don't do a good job with that, or if it doesn't, if it doesn't take off, you know, um, that's just business. As long as there's nobody out there, like I'm on the Xbox side, so I see that a lot where people trying to bring Xbox down. As you can see with the FTC and all this kind of stuff, all the drama that goes on, especially in the console war. But like I said a million times, thank God Microsoft is rich because that puts them in a different stratosphere. Right? I say this all the time as well, man. A lot of other companies wouldn't be able to weather the storm that Microsoft has been able to. I should say Xbox, but now that Microsoft's involved, definitely, yeah, dude. But I play Naraka. The only problem is I'm not good at it. Right? There's some people on there that, dude, I was just getting pwned. But I mean, just to do it for fun, I'll definitely do it. Hey, Unlimited, yeah, hold on. I'll send you. I'm waiting for Hebot to jump into. Sorry, dude. It's just a one off. But yeah, mark your calendar, dude, because I'm actually gonna keep this going. I'm gonna make this consistently. Like next week, it'll be the Wrecking Crew podcast is next week, which I appreciate. Again, man, thank you and E-Rock for covering for me um, for the last one. But definitely be next week. And then this week, I'm kicking off the All In cast where we can talk about pop culture and stuff. I sent you the link, bro. You should see it. Yeah, we should talk, man, because my daughter is excited. She saw the second trailer for Blue Beetle, so she wants to go watch that. And I'm gonna go watch it too, man, because that's my boy, the dude from Cobra Kai. I like that kid. There was some controversy about some stuff he said, which I heard what he said and stuff like that. Maybe not the best thing to say, especially I think a lot of these Hollywood, and we'll talk about that too, because the writers' strike and the Actors Guild getting involved. If you guys read the comments I wrote about that, dude, don't take it the wrong way, dude. I'm always for the little guy. I mean, I definitely support those guys who are getting used and abused, right? The people who are losing their intellectual properties, the guys who are the creatives that actually drive the industry, that get shut down by the machine. I definitely back those guys up and stuff like that. But let's be honest, man. We're gonna talk about this. Let's be honest. Dude, Hollywood needs a wake up call. These dudes have been putting out trash for a couple of years now. I also put in the description, man. It doesn't bother me because there's a bunch of other things I can be doing, and we'll talk about anime and K dramas as well. Definitely recommend that for you guys who are like me, that grew up where storytelling was important, where entertainment value was important, and when these guys actually worked hard, um, because it does matter. I hope Sony or Nintendo never buys out Sega. I'd rather it merge with Capcom. There's been talk about that, but that's I don't know if they can do that, Pepe, because what happens is it's the Sammy aspect of it, right? The only way I can see a merge happening is if Microsoft actually did pick up Sega. Um, I'm on the flip side of that, Pepe. I really want Microsoft to get Sega. The smarter buy for them would be EA. Um, yeah, some people are saying Take Two, and I see the logic, or Rockstar, right? Rockstar. I see the logic. Whoever makes Grand Theft Auto. But man, I just couldn't handle like all the. I mean, the AKB thing was bad enough. Um, I don't play Grand Theft Auto 2. So I mean, the last time I played was Vice City, so maybe that's why it doesn't matter as much to me. But I think the smarter buy would be EA just because of the sports games. But definitely my heart would go with Sega because I want to just like with the AKB deal. COD is COD. I play COD, but I'm not as hardcore as I used to be. But for me, the biggest thing is actually the other IP that they have, and getting these studios like Ravensoft. I know Unlimited was talking about this in the last podcast. Man, Ravensoft, they do a lot of good games, and they do like the X-Men, was it X-Men Legends games and stuff like that, which I used to play that all the time. Right. So if you can, and I'm not saying they're going to make that game, and there's licensing issues and stuff like that, but what I'm saying is like you can unlock a lot of these smaller developers that are under the Activision umbrella, to bring back either have them do new IP, or bring back some of the classic stuff. Also, because of backwards compatibility and all that stuff, I want those older games in the in Game Pass, or if not in Game Pass, at least make it available for us to buy, and it's probably going to be cheaper. I love a Capcom Sega just for all their games. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if Capcom though. Capcom is so. That would be great. That would be great. I think that's the best. Actually, to be honest with you, if Sega got Capcom, then I think Microsoft would be easier to get Sega if Capcom went under the Sega umbrella. Because right now, as you can tell, man, Microsoft has such a great relationship with Sega. And if you haven't heard what the president of Sega said recently, I can see that deal happening. Oh, let me get Unlimited in there. Hey, what's up, brother? Can you hear me?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Hey, man, good podcast the other day, man. I was listening to you guys.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a Sega Man show, right?
Yeah, it was Sega Man's, but I couldn't jump in because it was I was at work, so I was just
Oh
listening.
yeah. That happens, man.
Yeah,
That happens. Yeah. So what's up, man? What's up?
man, that was an amazing week, but I couldn't do any videos because I was busy with my kids.
Yeah.
I had a lot of stuff to do, and then again, too, Game Pass, man. I made it a point to like focus more on Game Pass for myself,
Mm-hmm.
um, just to get some of those games, man. These games being dropped is just it's crazy, the amount of time I do not have to play. So I'm actually making time, but it boils down to my kids. We had a lot of stuff to do, so I couldn't really jump on or do any videos, which I wanted to because I thought it was an amazing week for
Right.
Microsoft.
Yeah, it was, man. It was a crazy good week for Microsoft. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm gonna mute
Okay.
my mic real quick because I'm gonna drink something. So,
Okay. Yeah, man. It was a crazy good week for Microsoft. Obviously, they beat the government, aka the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, Lina Kahn and her bandits, goons who can't stop nothing. The 2008 Detroit Lions of the FTC, a perfect zero, now 0-10 after having the FTC budget cut by 25%.
dude, I heard you say that on the podcast. I was rolling when you said that, dude. I was cracking up.
Yeah. She got a perfect losing record, man. It's kind of ridiculous. But oh man, what a great week, and it's gonna get even better because soon we're gonna get the announcement of those Activision games on Game Pass. And let's see. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. I ordered my TV just arrived, so I'm a little distracted
Oh,
getting
nice. What
these
did you get?
settings right. The LG B2 OLED.
Ah, you did you get on? You got that sale, huh?
Yeah. I
Ah,
got that sale.
man, dude. If it ain't controllers, man, unlimited is getting the TVs.
Well, actually, this the first TV I got in years. I want to upgrade, get all the bells and whistles, um, get all the bells and whistles on. Have the 120 frames, the Dolby Digital. Like it's nice when you go to the settings and everything is checked green
Oh
instead of
yeah,
some checked red like it was with my old TV. And I had the TLC, and that TLC, the TLC was great.
hmm
But that TLC was old. I had it. I got it before the Xbox One X even came out. So that's what 6-7 years right there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that TV was great for its time. It held me down, and I played a lot of great games on it. But it was time to upgrade, man.
Well, that C2 that you bought, that's been the standard for a while. And it gave the
Yeah.
Samsung because before that it was Samsung's televisions, right?
Hmm.
Especially when Samsung was working directly with Xbox. But once those OLED monitors, man, because everybody's concerned about the burning.
Hmm.
But once that C2 came out, dude, that became the new standard, at least from what I saw.
Yeah. Well. My brother has the C1 that came out a couple of
Yeah,
years ago,
yeah.
and that when I saw him have that TV, that sold me on OLED, and I had my heart set on getting one. So during Prime sale, this TV, I got the 65-inch for 1100, and I can't pass up on that, and so I bought it.
Oh, you went big. Okay, nice.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's because I game. I kick back on the couch, game in my living room, so I sit a pretty decent distance from the TV.
Right,
So
right,
so
right.
I like this. So the 65-inch for me personally is a sweet spot. And I know some people say once you go higher than 55 you could lose detail, but to me it's
No,
not.
no.
You don't lose detail to the point it's blurry or nothing. Everything just looks phenomenal, and I'm still playing with the settings to get everything right, get everything how I like it. But I could tell you, man, just start up Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights is the perfect game for OLED because you play every time you're in Gotham, it's nighttime, and my goodness does it look perfect.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. That's known for the darks, right?
yeah, so I am. My early initial reactions is I'm beyond blown away, and I can't wait to see how Starfield looks on this TV.
Oh my gosh, dude, we're not gonna hear from you, dude. You're gonna be.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, I'm
You know,
gonna be
the thing to
blown
keep in mind, like the one thing I can't, this is what irritates me
away.
about the TV, the whole TV thing, right? Because you hear people say that, but a lot of times when people talk about distance and all that kind of stuff, man, they're just
Hmm.
repeating what other people are saying.
Right.
And the bad thing about that is these TVs change like so fast, right? Even
Yeah.
within the models, they
Hmm.
have, for all the complaining people talk about, especially on the Xbox, oh, they're gonna come out with a slim and all this kind of crap and all this stuff right now. People complaining gaming, and then nobody talks about phones or even worse, televisions, right?
Right.
Because the panels and stuff like that can be different, and all the little nooks and crannies within the television itself.
Hmm.
Right. So unless you're actually doing it, that's why I don't really listen to a lot of the
Right.
people. when you talk about that. Just like games, man. Just in a sense, you got to find out for yourself. So
Yeah, exactly. But
yeah, I'm glad you got it, dude. Because the 60. That's a good deal, man. 65 inch for that. That's
yeah, oh yeah, big time.
see, because in my living room, I'm limited by the
Uh-huh.
by the entertainment center I have. This thing was built for the square,
Uh-huh.
that type of television. So when I went back to the manufacturer to ask if they have these, you can actually reorganize the shelving and stuff like that, get longer
Uh-huh.
shelving.
Uh-huh.
But they had gone out of business. So,
Oh man.
yeah, so I'm kind of stuck. So the only TV I could get is that 43, which actually I was thinking about pulling the trigger on that because I think it was like 700.
Right. Oh,
So
that's a good price.
yeah, dude. I mean, I almost got it, but I'm like, you know what? I wanna put a big screen in my living room, dude, because that
Yeah.
wall. Yeah, that wall is made for like I tried to get that 93 inch. Was it 93? Yeah, the TCL.
Oh, it's not the 93 is TCL.
Yeah, it was only 1400, so I went down to the
Yeah.
Best Buy. It was sold out. Somebody bought it.
Oh, yeah. When I was TV hunting, it was I like the mini OLEDs. Those look good too. But when I saw that I meant the mini LED, those look great too. When I saw the OLED, man, I was like, I gotta have it. Let's see
They-
something else.
I mean, that's what we've been waiting for too, right? For them to start coming down.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I don't know, but the economy, man, all the stuff that happened with it just jacked everything up.
Yeah.
Because there's usually an ebb and flow. Like, well, I can see. Hey, what's up, Mr. Kima?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, so, there's an ebb and flow to the. We know, right? It's just like, okay, when the 8K, when they started talking about 8K, we are kind of happy because that means the 4K will start dropping off,
Yeah.
right? It goes through this like cycle, right? But after the pandemic and stuff like that, dude, that crap has thrown all out of proportion. But I've seen people selling used TVs for ridiculous prices, man, just because of
hmm
shipping. So especially where I live, I live in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, bro. So
Right. Oh yeah.
we
So it'll be real
we, we
pricey.
rely, yeah, we rely on that stuff, dude. It's hard because everything's shipped in here, man. Some stuff we can't even fly in. Like I want to get a battery charger for my car, and I tried to order it off of Amazon. They won't ship it to us because I think a lot of the stuff Amazon does is they fly it in,
Mhm.
so they won't put batteries on planes like that. Those type of batteries or some crap like that. We always get stuff like that. Meanwhile, dude, China will send us anything. China will be like, yeah, we send it to you. He might be wrong, but we'll send it to you.
Right. Okay.
Let me try and because they're Pepe. Let me. I'd love a Capcom Sega just for all their games. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, and I agree. The great thing if Capcom and Sega got together, and then Microsoft owned them. Again, this is me. Would be that we could get Power Stone. Right.
Right.
There should be no reason for us not to get a Power Stone game
Right.
because even though it was on the Dreamcast, it's a Capcom game. And I think Capcom owns the rights to that game. That's the great thing about the AKB. A lot of those games should be able to come to backwards compatibility to Game Pass. And
Yeah.
ultimately, for me, Unlimited, I was saying this earlier. I would like to see that happen because I want them to I want us to have the ability to buy it as well.
Yeah. Well, that's usually the case.
Yeah.
That's usually the case. You could buy them, or if you already own them, you'll just be able to put the disc in your console.
Yeah, so I know for the Yakuza, I couldn't buy some of that stuff physical.
Hmm
So whatever I couldn't buy physical, at least I could get it digital.
Right.
Yeah, and that's one of the issues I have with. I didn't play the Yakuza, especially even when I had a PlayStation. I didn't play because I was all mad about shit because nobody supported that game, and so that's where Yakuza basically comes from. Is the stuff.
What does Yakuza come from?
So Yakuza, like since Shenmue failed in a
Hmm
sense, right? And
Oh,
then
Shenmue. Yeah.
so then Yakuza came out, right? But it was on PlayStation, and I was pissed off that nobody supported. Dude, I was bad. I'll be honest with you, dude. This was like the best week ever for me because I've been waiting for this since 9999. Dude, I've been on Twitter. I don't know if you see my stuff on Twitter. I've been petty.
Yeah. I've seen it, man. It's been hilarious.
Dude, these guys are like they try and come at me, man. They trying to rewrite the history of Sega. I'd be like,
Right.
no. Right. I see what you guys are trying to do, and like they're doing now. Right now, it's all about the games. Like all of a sudden, these people are like with their videos. It's like I don't know why we're talking about AKB. We should be talking about games, dude. I said no, 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 no. You don't get to come back here and drag them back. You're not
Right.
getting out of this gutter, out of this what do they call that, man? The council war, man. You're not getting out of this, dude. We're in the trenches here. You're gonna stay in here and take your medicine.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
guys been talking so much trash. You guys are so sure of yourself. Even though even then when they were talking so much, they were so wrong, and everybody
Yeah,
was
it was
wrong.
it was kind of crazy. They're confident, but being wrong too.
Dude, it's just like I think you were saying that right on the podcast at one of the podcasts. I think you were saying like it's like it's almost like they was watching a different court case than we were watching. When they
Mhm.
were coming, like you see people come out with the facts, like that dude Florian, I following all kind of people, and then like people in the know, like Post Up and all these guys, and then what they were saying, and then you see the ponies over there. It's like, oh man, Phil Spencer got smashed by the FTC lawyer, and I was like, dude, this is like two different court cases going on at the same time. So yeah, they don't get a pass. They got to take this L.
Yeah,
It was so bad that even the pony boss was trying to help them. Some of these dudes out here because they associate with them.
right.
They was trying to be like, look, dude, you guys need to. This is A B C D E F G, and these dudes just wasn't having it. And I was all for that, dude. I was happy. I was waiting for that because I'm like, dude, yeah, go ahead, dude. Keep on talking smack, dude. I mean, when this stuff falls apart, and then you guys are gonna then we'll see, dude. And it was so bad, like everybody was saying, man. Like these guys started like closing their Twitter accounts the day.
Oh, they to quote our brother 100, they didn't want that smoke.
Nope, they did not.
They didn't want that smoke at all that day.
That was hilarious, man. Because you know how Twitter is, man. People are just waiting to pounce.
Hmm.
And the Xbox guys, and this is the difference between Xbox guys and PlayStation guys. Because the Xbox guys, we've been taking it for years. And we've been taking it from everybody, right? We've been
Right.
taking it from the gaming media, from the ponies, from the neutrals, quote unquote, right? Because what happens is these guys sit there and they just jump into the fray, right? They get into the bandwagon.
Right.
So for us, man, it's been trial by fire, dude. This is why a lot of the Xbox guys that started off back in 2013 and made it to 2015, but when
Hmm.
2015 rolled around, these guys couldn't just hang anymore, right? They
Right.
fell to the wayside, dude. They couldn't handle the heat. Um, so this is why they're no longer around, which is sad, man, because now you can see the turning point, you know. And had they stuck it out, right, they could have been enjoying the fruits of that labor. But
Hmm.
unfortunately, a lot of them turned pony, or they just couldn't handle it. And so for me, I just sat there. I'm watching it now. Like, yeah, dude, it's time for your comeuppance, man. It's karma. It's name it whatever you want to.
Yeah. I mean, we just have it so good that it makes all this stuff even better.
Yeah.
While they're about to get a remaster of a 3-year-old game in The Last of Us 2, I mean, I'd be sick to my stomach if Microsoft resold Gears 5 to me. Instead, what happened? That's right, Hive Busters and expansion was free on Game Pass, and it
Yes.
looked spectacular and didn't cost you a dime unless you wanted to buy it. But other than that, Gears 5 got a free update. They didn't resell you Gears 5 the Series S version. But but this is just proof that Sony needs money. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, the AMD FreeSync is spectacular, but back to what I was saying there, but this just proves. Listen, they were saying it for a long time now. They need that Call of Duty money. Call of Duty funds their exclusives. Call of Duty makes them a large percent of their annual revenue. So of course they're going to be devastated, you
Right.
know, and I think, and you know what, I think the PlayStation fans, they see the writing on the wall. It's just that they can't publicly say it after putting out the opposite message for so long. So
Did you
now they
see?
just sound. Yeah, did I see what?
Did you see Amazing Lucas's video?
I think so. I think he was complaining about I think so. You got to refresh my memory though.
Dude, he basically he actually said like in one part of it he's actually called Spider-Man the new Spider-Man mid.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. He pretty much said what we've been saying. It's pretty
Mhm.
much a copy and paste, swinging through New York and the likes. That's right. I think he was also talking down to other games. Sony re-release, because the PlayStation 5 library is like 80% re-released games.
Well, he also, he acknowledged what we've been talking about for a long time as
Mhm.
well. Like he was saying, like they don't have any games coming out, right?
Yeah.
Which it's been like this for the longest time. Now, when we talk about this, right, because they constantly change the goalposts,
Hmm.
right? They'd be able to like win the argument and not win the argument, but moving that goalpost and stuff. It would be like they'd say third party games, first third party AAA games, and then their AAA games. So they're able to do that to make it look like they have more games than what they actually have. So
Yeah.
I mean that AKB deal, man. When I was watching his video, he started off pretty strong, like coming out against the Xbox, like not coming
Hmm.
out, but he said the Xbox thing in the beginning, but then he just totally flipped, and that's how bad. I mean, this AKB deal has been for these guys, man. It's
Hmm.
actually like it's like beat them down so bad that they're actually like sounding like Xbox.
Yeah, because and it exposed all their narratives. So what can they say anymore? What can you say when we could easily pull up proof of the opposite, that it didn't come from our mouths, it didn't come from a rumor, it came from Sony's executives' own mouths.
Yeah,
And and it's weird. It's always weird when I see Xbox fans have more faith in Sony than Sony does themselves in the
oh,
PlayStation.
yeah.
Because I just wonder if they even exist in reality at this point.
Did you saw that Major Nelson is retiring, right? From
Yeah, man. Yeah, 20 years, but 20 years, and he's hanging it up, man. And big shout out to Major Nelson. He's always been a great voice for Xbox. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to picture an Xbox world without him. You know.
Well, I saw that Sega Man did a video on it, dude, and I 100% agree with Sega Man. I mean, but this is the way it is being an Xbox guy. We just can't go through the week without just having all positive news.
Right.
There's always got to be something that pops up, right? And so I was like kind of flying on cloud nine, and it didn't destroy me at all. But for Major Nelson leaving, dude, the thing I don't like about that is, and getting back to what you were saying, dude, is I absolutely can't stand the gaming media. Our gaming media is an actual absolute joke. To the point where Kotaku showed their ass again by putting an article out there that says Xbox and I forget the other people, Xbox and greedy corporate people are like trying to prevent Lina Kahn from doing her job or some stupid
Yeah.
title. I mean, they got roasted on it, but that's what I'm talking about, man. To have somebody like Major Nelson, that's the only big negative for me because he comes from like our time, like
Hmm.
he's like old school. And I
Yeah.
know I'm older than you, but we're those type of gamers, and we grew up in the gaming industry in that way, where
Hmm.
gaming was first and foremost. Like Sigma said on his podcast, was very astute. He talked about how Major Nelson would talk about other gaming, consoles and games and stuff like that, not just Xbox, but just the way he did it, you knew he was a true gamer.
Hmm.
And we don't have that in the gaming media, dude. I just watched that ID. I watched that ID in Xbox. Um,
Hmm.
I've been catching up with all the showcases. Dude. There's some great showcases this year. Dude. I ain't gonna
Yeah.
lie. But I finally caught up with the ID Xbox one, and then IGN did it. And I just sat there watching this thing, and I'm like, dude, I wish Xbox would have done it. I have nothing in common with any of the people on that panel
Hmm.
that was doing it, and I know the girl because she's on the Unlocked podcast with what's his name, Shaggy, and so
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so like I'm watching it, it's like and that kind of hit me, dude, when that hit Twitter, man. That's the first thing I thought about because as I was watching that I did Xbox thing, man, I love the games and what they showed, but I would just prefer if Microsoft handled it right. Um,
Hmm.
because these guys talking to me is just like look, it's just like talking to my kids about taxes, right? Or trying to explain finances to my kids. They're still young and they're at that age, right? They understand certain things, but some stuff they don't know, right? It's like my daughter got her first check, right? She has a job, she got her first check, and then we out there and she's shopping with her money, and she'd be like, this stuff's expensive, right? You know what I'm saying? Especially now, they should be looking at some of these figures because she had to buy her friend some stuff for his graduation, right? So where's that GameStop, man? And if you haven't noticed, dude, those figures that used to be like $9.99 or $11.99, that thing upwards of $14.50. Well, at least where I'm at. And then my daughter's over there looking at this stuff, and she goes, "Oh, yeah, this is pricey." Right? So it's that understanding that you can only get over time and experience, and you can't teach that to this newer generation. And I
Hmm.
know they got what's his name, Jeff Rubenstein, and then the other girl on the podcast and stuff like that. Um, And I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna bring that show back. Like, who are they gonna get to be that voice? Right. I mean,
Uh,
I
that's a
don't,
good question.
I mean, the only like Julie Hardy, maybe. Like, I mean, but I think she had a bad experience when she did the broadcast on
Hmm.
the broadcast and she was playing Forza, right? And then it was one of those things where she's interviewing, and either she was playing like she wasn't playing well, or people were saying she wasn't playing at all. Like, it was all a facade, and they jumped on her. And I felt bad for her. It was already the ponies are already all over her. So after that, dude, and I've never seen her do another showcase again because it's like in the case of Major Nelson, man, it's hard to find that type of combination where somebody uh, is in the industry that knows the industry that's actually a gamer,
Hmm.
and then that can also be entertaining, right? Just and have the knowledge base that he does, man. And so anyway, and not to bring the podcast down, guys, but that was the only thing this week that I was like, yeah, this sucks, right? Because I'm like, because I don't want this thing to be totally sterile, right?
Hmm.
Because Xbox has been beaten over the head with their productions for so long, right? And I don't agree with everybody, man. I just don't want cavalcade of freaking um of trailer after trailer after trailer. I
Right.
want some insight. I want some input, and I think they finally got it down with the format they have, where they have the show
Hmm.
showcase, and then they do the deep dive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is a good format.
But I mean, I understand. Look, I'm getting old. I'm getting grouchy. It's the changing of the guard, right?
Yeah.
And I understand that. And when you read his tweets, man, look, the dude's been warring out here for 20 years. He probably came in probably at the. I mean, the majority of that is probably the worst time to be an Xbox
Hmm.
associate, right? To be associated with the company, man. He went through it all, so I don't
Yeah,
blame him.
yeah. I mean, he's been there almost day one, basically.
Yeah.
So he was there through the highs and lows and back to the highs. So, but everything comes to an end. One day Phil Spencer's gonna not be the head of Xbox anymore, and
But at least we got
no,
Sarah. I mean,
yeah,
Sarah's just right there, dude. I'm like,
yeah.
this is
You know who I'd like to see take over?
who's that?
Tina Summerlin.
Yeah, yeah.
You, you
For for
know,
for
especially after finding out she's the one who produced the Xbox documentary.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I want to see her back on the stage, man. I miss
her,
her. She
her
was
fingerprints. Yeah, her fingerprints were all over that thing, dude. You felt like you're watching the old G4.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She was excellent in G4. And she's been at Microsoft for a while. I would love to see her to become the face of the take over where Major Nelson did.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, yeah, she's great, man, and we need those. We still need those type of personalities that came in because they genuinely love gaming. They love the culture, they love the hobby, and you could tell. Like for me, especially, I feel like for me, I don't know about you, but I could easily tell somebody who loves gaming versus somebody this is just a job to them.
Yeah, yeah.
When it's just a job to him, that's when you get all the moaning, the whining, the crying, the let's just get this over with look on their face during these presentations and shows.
No, and a perfect example of that is on the Sony side.
Hmm.
And it's like that's not me just dogpiling on Sony, but if you look at the way Sony, especially under what's his name, Jim Ryan, right?
Right.
It's more business focused. Right? It's definitely more business focused, man. And that all came into light during the court case, dude. If you guys have not watched that stuff, I understand it's not for everybody, but if you want a
Hmm.
general knowledge and you wonder why guys like me, Hebot, Sigman, Unlimited, E-Rock talk the way we do, man, all of that stuff is exposed for everybody to see with the court case. Sony does business a certain way, and if you want to understand why they do what they do, right? But to your point, Unlimited, yeah, I mean you can tell, right? They're more business focused, money focused, right? And this is why a lot of the ponies are in disarray right now because what's happening is because they're money focused and because of what's happening with COD, right? They have to go the games of service, right? And the sad thing about that, dude, if you're a Sony guy, you have to acknowledge that that's a necessity. You might not like it, so at least if you don't like it, then at least understand that it's a necessary evil because they need the money, right? They need the money to produce this stuff. This is something that Microsoft's been doing since 2013, since the Xbox One.
Hmm.
They're getting hammered on that. And then a lot of times, look, dude, when you get your ass whooped, you just have this moment of clarity, right?
Right.
That's why sometimes it's good to get beat down. I know I got my ass whooped when I was growing up, And sometimes you either get too full of yourself or you can't make the flowers from the weeds type of situation. And then you have a downfall or whatever, then that's a good way for you to wake up and see what's really going on. And so it's a course correct. And then Microsoft, fairly or unfairly, I thought it was unfairly, but I am biased, right? I'm an Xbox guy. But Microsoft was able to kind of recalibrate, look at the landscape, honestly, which is what they needed to do, and then course correct. And this is why we are where we are now. And they were getting hammered about this. So everything that Sony's going to do now, Microsoft was getting killed for. But what is it like 10? Well, I say about 8 years later. I know we've been about 10 years, but I say 8 years later when everything kicked off. I mean, you see where Microsoft sits right or Xbox sits right now. It also helps that Microsoft got involved. But this is why we have Game Pass, right? Because Microsoft, they're a company that looks at the numbers. They always listen to the consumers, but like we say, or at least I say, I'll speak for myself. Um, the consumers aren't always right. I used to work at a grocery store. It was my very first job. Right, the customer is always right. Why? Because they're paying you. They pay your salary, right? They're the ones that are spending their money in your store, and that's how you get a paycheck. So that's why they're always right. But are they always right? No, because you know why? They don't know the inner workings of what happens in the store. So they might have a complaint or something might be wrong. They might read a sign wrong. They might read a sale wrong. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Right? They're always right.
Yeah.
And because they're paying you is the thing. And so at Microsoft, the great thing I like what they do is that they actually kind of course corrected and said, look, these guys are saying one thing, and I don't mean this in a bad way. They're not this bad way, but they're okay. They say they're going to buy these games day one on social media, but then why aren't these games selling? Well, let's go look at our statistics. Well, let's go look at our data, right? And that's how they came up with Game Pass, right? Because they're like, look, dude, if we can get a system where everybody's paying in, this is what we're doing. And again, this is my pet peeve. You pay for Game Pass. It's not free. It's a great deal. The fact that Microsoft makes you feel like it's free, that's awesome, right? That's just great on Microsoft's part. But there is a cost to it. And the reason why that matters is because the cost that they recoup for Game Pass is why you see the deals that they're able to make.
Right.
So let me go to this real quick. Mr. Pepe Le Pew. I see no reason to go 8K yet. Yeah, when 8K was being mentioned, the only thing I liked about that Pepe was that once they started talking like that, you tend to see the 4K stuff go down, right? That's that transition and that recycle that we talked about earlier. That's the only thing I liked about 8K. I wasn't going to go out and buy one. There wasn't a lot of content and stuff like that. And there's people with money that want to get the best picture. That's hey, more power to them.
All right.
Because if they buy it, you're paying for the R&D in the front end. So if they're willing to do that, man, that's why you need rich people, bro. I know some people are like, rich people suck. No, you need these dudes. These are the dudes that write the checks.
Right.
And if they're being pricks and stuff like that, just avoid them. That's what I do. it's just like, or go old school like the way I was growing up, man. Maybe they need a course correct, just punch them in the face. No, don't do that. Don't do that. These are different times that we live into. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm just checking out the reactions on Twitter, and man, these fanboys are just hilarious, man.
Oh, dude, it's wonderful.
They're back to Xbox will be third party in 5 years, and
yeah, are they? Oh, they changed.
And I'm like, I've been hearing that since 2013. How the hell does it take? How's it taking 10 years for Xbox to be third party, man? Yeah. That was taking these dudes so long. Hurry up.
Yeah, dude. You know what, dude? I'm laughing.
Hurry up and fail Xbox because y'all doing a terrible damn job at failing.
Dude, you had a great point when you talked about that. You're kind of like, yeah, please keep on. Oh yeah, you said please stay in third place.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Yeah, man. Third place got us Avowed. It got us Starfield this year. Got us Activision. Got us the Bethesda series that Phil decided to make all their games exclusive because Sony were being assholes. Yeah. So I'm cool with third place. I do not need first place if this is what we getting, man. You know what I'm saying? You want me to care about a fake race because they didn't sell as many boxes. But I got what are you playing Starfield on?
Exactly. Yeah. Dude, and then all the petitions and stuff like that, dude, it blows my mind because in 1 minute they're hating on you, and the next minute we're gonna sign this petition to get this game on our console. Like, man, dude, and that's why, dude. Just like go buy an Xbox, guys. Just let it go. Just go buy an Xbox. You just buy an Xbox, talk trash about it, but at least you're gonna get to play the games.
Yeah.
or play it on your PCs, right? These guys are supposed
Yeah,
to.
that's right. That's right. Their PCs were let's see, the PCs. I mean, remember they had PCs back in 2016 when Quantum Break went to PC. For some reason, their PCs didn't work when Sony put their games on there, though. I don't know what happened then.
Dude, even the judge in the AKB case said, "Doesn't everybody have a PC? We're in lockdown." She's talking
Yeah,
about the pandemic and how people were working from home. I was like, dude, this judge is on point. Because every time the FTC tried to wiggle and do that kind of stuff, she's like, bam, 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 bam. And she's not even a gamer, guys. That's
right.
how bad the FTC case was. Dude,
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
not a gamer. She was able to shut them down.
yeah. Everybody with a functioning brain. I gotta find out how to make this brighter. Everybody with a functioning brain knew that it wasn't going to work. You
Right.
know, that wasn't going to work. That the reasonings behind it was nonsense. But the PlayStation fans, man, I give PlayStation fans this, man. When they hold on hope, they do not let go. Facts do not matter one iota to these people. I mean, Jim Ryan and PlayStation execs are literally saying we can't survive without Call of Duty. Call of Duty funds our exclusives. And they turn around and say, but Sony could buy Take Two. It's just it's wild, man. It's wild how nothing. There's not a single bit shred of evidence you could show them that will change their mind, and that's something, man. That's something.
Just as the good book says, man, the faith of a mustard seed, man. It is, dude, it is astonishing, man, to watch these guys support. I mean,
Yeah,
dude, if we had a tenth of that for the Xbox, I mean,
yeah.
I don't
Well,
want the blind support, but man, just a little bit of that,
yeah.
dude.
Hey, Zobi, you could already play Halo on your phone, man. Just download the Xbox app, and you could either do it through Remote Play or the Game Pass app. So it's already playable on your phone.
All right, okay, let's do the chat. Hey, Unlimited, man. Anthony Chipmunk says, "What's up?" He says,
Hey,
"Cheers."
what's up, Anthony Chipmunk?
Yeah, what's up, Anthony? Thanks for showing up, brother. Appreciate it. Pepe, I wonder when Hell and Television and the Coca-Cola ever send out their consoles. Been waiting for a while now. Oh yeah, I don't know, bro. Because with all this stuff going on the last couple of years, that there's a lot of stuff that didn't follow through on. And then you
Right,
see all the cutbacks people are making, right?
right.
Like Microsoft even had I think what we had 275 that to let go.
Hmm.
In certain areas and stuff like that. Dude, Amazon is in big trouble, man. You know, Amazon is in trouble when the CEO or president or somebody came out and says, "Oh, we're gonna have to start looking at our Prime shows."
Right.
Right, and then don't even get me started on. We'll touch on Disney later.
Yeah, yeah,
Disney's an
yeah.
actual tough. They are
Bro,
sad and pathetic,
they're redefining the concept of dumpster fire.
dude. It's just like, dude, I'm like watching this happen, and I'm like, dude, okay, Korean drama time.
Hmm.
Click on my Netflix, dude. Click. What's Korean drama I'm gonna watch? Oh, okay, I'll watch this. I see. Yeah, I hear Microsoft purchase. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Zobi. If you remember that court case, that's why I think that's what also affected this purchase because Phil Spencer and them, when they went to war with Apple and Google, that's such a stranglehold of the market. Which is ironic that the whole thing with the AKB thing was like a monopoly when you actually have monopolies happening. In fact, I think Apple and Google were against they were the other two parties, right? That was against the deal. Um, I believe so. I think I heard that in one of the briefings that was coming out. That,
Hmm.
there was a couple people that didn't want to besides Sony and I believe it was Apple and I think it was Nvidia, but then Microsoft worked out a deal with them
Right. Right.
and Google. Yeah, because they do have a stranglehold on the game market on cell phone.
Right.
And that's one of that was kind of the cool thing about it. Like you actually, and a lot there's people out there saying Phil Spencer them is lying and Satya is lying. No, dude, they're under oath.
And
They're big. They're $1 trillion company. They can't afford to do that.
yeah, if there's one thing I know about gamers, they don't know what they're talking about. These are the fakest experts on the planet. I mean, one dude said something along the lines of what Sony needs to do is ban Call of Duty, and when you read something that stupid, you know they just make up stuff and hope nobody calls them out.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, they were. I mean, it's incredible. I said again, I said it once, I'll say it again. I'll never understand how these guys have fan bases when they're wrong all the time. They're not wrong some of the time, They're not even wrong most of the time. They're wrong every single time. Sega Forever, and somehow their fans still click, and their people watch them never once click and say, "Guys, why y'all lying to us?" You know, I mean, do you know how many people I unsubscribed from when they started lying in their videos? Even Xbox guys. There are Xbox guys who lied for years, and I unsubscribed. I didn't care how much they like Xbox. I hate fucking excuse my language. I hate liars and clickbaiters like that.
Oh, dude, that's why I told you, man. I sit here in anticipation of y'all's videos because I can't listen to anybody else, dude. Because I can't listen to people that don't know more than what I do and put out false information.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like when I listen to you, I'm always learning something new, right? Or on the other end, being entertained, like Zobi. I listen to Zobi stuff. Dude, Zobi does a bunch of stuff. Dude, he'll talk about like anime and figures and stuff. Then he'll dump on like gaming companies, and then he'll switch over to like once he starts talking politics, and I'll be listening to him like, oh, dude. Because what it is this is another thing. This is why E-Rock, man, I want him to get his channel back, right? Because there's something to be said. Like when I do these videos, I just talk about stuff. Dude. It's another thing to be able to talk about things and then also be entertaining, right? And then at least like E-Rock. Remember when E-Rock was talking about Phil Spencer, man, and then when he realized, okay, well, Phil's good for the job, he did a video.
Yeah.
And he explained himself and he apologized, right? And that's what a man does, dude. And you think any of these dudes are going to do that?
Nope.
No. None of these guys are. Like you said, they're wrong all the time. They're wrong just about every single day. It's just like I just want to hear some of the news. Like if anything came out, so I just like letting random people go. And then I'm just like, as the list is playing and stuff. And I was like, all of them, dude. It's just like, okay, well, it's not over yet. And I'm like, well, how old is this video? This was like 3 hours ago. What do you mean it's not over? Well, the CMA, well, Canada. I'm like, like, delete. I'm like, dude, man, I can't deal with this right now. Dude, you guys are absolutely a joke, man. You sit there.
Yeah,
dude, it's done. It's over. It was done. It was over, but you guys don't want to listen. Now, I understand if you're trying to I would respect you if you're going to get clicks, right? It's just like the whole thing with Lina Kahn, right? They were saying that the only reason they did the challenge to the judge's ruling was because so she could have a blanket to cover her when she was getting grilled, but she absolutely was doused in flames. They just pour gasoline on this poor girl and they just doused her. Right? She was just getting hammered from both sides. Just people say, well, Republicans were doing this. Like, dude, everybody was dumping on it. Because you got to remember on the Democrat side, dude, it's the unions. When the unions came out against this, I was like, dude, it's over. Yeah. They had like 4 or 5 unions backing them. And the unions was like, what are you doing? Right? So it's basically ideology versus like party loyalty. Right? So she was getting worked over by all this stuff. So the rumor is that she did that just so she didn't have to answer most questions. Because she could like, okay, I can't say this because it's an ongoing thing. And you know what? I would respect that. I would respect that because the only other choice is she's actually that dense. Right? And this is supposed to be a Harvard. I believe she went to Harvard or Columbia or Brown, one of these. She's supposed to be top notch. And this is the best that we can do, dude. We're screwed. Right now, dude. And it was funny because when you listen to like basically you have ideology and the AKB thing, you had ideology versus just basic law, basic common law. And that's what the judge was saying, right? Because everybody was making party affiliations and all this. It had nothing to do with that, dude. It was just FTC had a horrible case. They didn't even try, man. They thought they were going to show up. It's just like a basketball game, dude. You're expected to win. You show up. You didn't have practice, dude. It's like eating Twinkies and drinking sodas before the game, man. They're not taking stuff seriously, and they get doused. That's all that happened.
Exactly.
So I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, Mr. Keenan. They've been saying that since 2001. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man, yeah. I'm ready for them to be third party, man. Join the Sega, become like Sega.
Oh yeah,
everywhere. Like they swear. And listen, these guys swore that Starfield was going to be on PlayStation. They swore Elder Scrolls. I mean, Halo's supposed to be third party now. I mean, what's taking them so long? Sega Forever. I've never seen the company drag their feet the way that Xbox does, according to these guys.
Unlimited. Did you see the joke on Twitter? I wish I could credit the person. I can't think of the person that said this, but it's like my Xbox is third party. In fact, Xbox is Sony PlayStation's biggest third party.
Oh yeah.
So let me see, COD, Minecraft. Like, oh wow, somebody wrote that, and I was like, oh dude, I didn't think about that. That's funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
But I've been doing that the PlayStation guys, and I'm talking about the ponies guys, right? There's a lot of people that just jump on the pond, like, but we know who those guys are, right? And I'll comment to him real quick. I just wrote one thing to one of the guys. I was like, "Hey, Sega says hi." That's what I wrote in his comment section. Because I'm like, dude, you guys are on the cusp, man, of being bought by somebody else. Everything that you said you wished upon Xbox, or you said it would happen to Xbox, is actually happening in your company. But because you guys are such blind brand loyalists, you guys can't see it. Like a true fan of PlayStation right now would be like, I'm worried. We need to course correct.
Yeah.
Instead of
I'm
making
not sure
excuses.
how, but yeah.
I mean, to me personally, Unlimited. Look, I'm not hating. I'm just being honest, man. I'm just being 100 here. I agree with you. I think they've gone past the point of no return at this juncture, because it's the constant. We've been. It's been 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft made their choice, and Sony made their choice. Right? They both chose their paths, and right now one of those paths is paying dividends, and the other one not so much.
Right.
Right. To the point where I agree. I think like they could be third party and bought out by somebody else. Just being honest. But unfortunately, like one of the financial people said, well, who would do? That's why I like listening to financial people, because they break that kind of stuff down. Because that popped up in one of the financial shows I was watching, and they were like, yeah, but who could buy them right now? Because everybody's reeling, financially.
Yeah.
People.
Well, everybody except for like 7 companies.
Yeah, but even then, they just can't pull the trigger. Like they were saying, like Amazon or Google. Well, we've seen what happened with them, and then Google's losing out to Microsoft on it. Microsoft is basically the only company that's really doing well. I mean, well enough to like pull the trigger on other stuff. But even they might be gun shy at this point, right? But you see them pushing AI. You see them the Chat GP and their software suites and all this kind of stuff. Like how their software went to a subscription service.
Mm-hmm.
Shane, what's up, man? I see you fighting the. Oh, Gogo, what's up? I'm sorry, my brother. Gogo.
Hey, what's up, Goggle Po?
Gogo, you the man, dude. I'm telling you, man. You MVP. Shane G, yeah, what do we? Yeah, Shane, I see you fighting a good fight, dude, on Twitter. Dude, Twitter for me has been trash, though. Like, I can't comment sometimes. Like, my comments I was trying to send out, sharing stuff. Like, I want to share a lot of the financial stuff. Takes on the AKB stuff when it was happening in real time, but like my tweets wouldn't send. And then I keep on getting like the same people over and over, like their same tweets, and there's nobody responding.
Yeah. I have that issue too. Yeah.
I was like, come on, Elon, man, you want to put chips in our brains, but this ain't gonna cut it, bro. You better handle your business.
Yeah, exactly, man. Get them damn software engineers back to work.
Yeah, exactly, dude. If I see a PlayStation in your Tesla, I knew something. I'm gonna be suspicious. It's just like, this is done on purpose. Dude, don't make me put on my tinfoil hat, Unlimited, dude. I put on my tinfoil hat. We're going down the rabbit hole. I could attach something. Dude, I'm worse than X-Files.
Yeah,
I could attach something.
That could make for good discussion, but not right now. I would.
Yeah, not right now. Yeah. No, we can't. No, I can't do it with you now because you're distracted by the television.
Yeah, exactly.
You won't be able to pull me out of that thing, man. And this turned into a total dumpster. Everybody in my chat would be like, "What the hell? What happened to this guy?"
Yeah. We.
Yeah, Shane, dude, it was awesome, man. That was best week ever, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, moving forward, guys. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I know everybody's talking about the CMA. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me,
like they're not they're not United States. That's just fluff. That's.
And then I have people like they're like, "Oh, you just hate Britain." I'm like, "No, I have nothing against Britain." I'm like, "Do you see what I'm saying about the FTC? They're American, and I hate them even more."
Yeah,
so it's
listen, man. We beat Britain in a war and then saved their asses twice in 2 world wars. Britain ain't that. There's a reason why we don't care that much about them.
Dude, I actually love like British culture. Like I grew up.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
stuff,
joking, man. I know. I'm just joking to any Brits out there watching.
Oh no, they know. That's why I love Brits, man, because they have that dry sense of humor. Yeah. But y'all gotta get your CMA in check, bro.
Yeah.
And this is coming from people. Look, we understand, dude, because we have the FTC. The way the government here is sometimes, man, they want to know all your business.
It's
You guys don't want real
It kind of makes me sick.
Yeah, I'm like,
Man, it's funny. People talk about First Amendment. No, the one First Amendment right that we be getting screwed over on a lot is with our privacy. Well, that really makes me sick.
Yeah, I see that, like how they sell stuff, like our information and crap. I'm not saying I'm important. It's just the principle.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was the same guy when people was complaining to me about the Connect. I just looked at him like, dude, nobody cares who you are. Nobody cares who I am.
Yeah. But I mean, the government wasn't spying on us with the Connect, but it's other issues.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of other stuff, especially when people are monetizing and making money off of this.
Yeah,
and not even give us a courtesy, like give us like free McDonald's fries or something.
Right.
do something for us. But I mean, but don't get it twisted on that stuff, dude. I mean, that's the reason why. Probably people don't notice, dude. The reason why we have such a good relationship, a love-hate relationship with Britain, is because we're family, basically. As far as the countries are concerned, and the history between the countries, it's like an older sibling or a younger sibling. It's just going to happen, right? But when push comes to shove, man, we got each other's backs. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And I feel for everybody in Britain.
We got a lot of countries' backs. People hate the U.S. Military complex, but to be fair, this country. We single-handedly prevent a lot of wars because of the stuff that we be doing across the world. Just saying, not justifying it. I'm just saying, y'all are a little less thankful than y'all should be if you really knew what some of these what some of our American people are doing across the world. Again, not justifying it. I'm just saying, well, let's put it this way, sake of favor. Everything has their good and their bad.
Yes.
And sometimes the good does outweigh the bad. It matters your perspective, But
I tend to tell people like this, right? Just like whether you like it or not, dude, there's got to be a leader, right? And if there isn't a leader, there's going to be a power vacuum, and somebody's going to fill that vacuum. And if it's not going to be us, it's going to be somebody else. Like I'm at a point where I want to see China, because I hear people talk about China, like, and I'm talking about our allies or other countries. Are shifting towards China, and I'm at a point where I'm like, well, maybe look, sometimes, dude, look, if you have a team, like I know you're a Texans fan, I'm a Steeler fan, right, and then you get tired of the first string quarterback, he's doing this wrong. Let's put the second guy in there. He had a good preseason, his numbers are good. Then you put that dude in there to see how he does, and then you're like, oh well, maybe we should go back. This is what happens. The dramas, right, in football, right, is when they do that, and then all of a sudden this big thing blows up. What was the coach thinking? Where's the owner? The fans start fighting with each other about that. That's what I'm basically boiled down to. Somebody's got to take the lead. Yeah. And to be perfectly honest with you, dude, we're not perfect, man. Especially if you look at.
Oh no, not at all. But no country's perfect though.
No,
I mean, if we could play the rabbit hole of what did your country do that's awful with literally any country. Yeah. And so whenever I see people like act like America's this third, especially when they say America's a third world country, I'm like, guys, not even close. Just trust me on this one. Not even close. There are far worse countries than the U.S. This country ain't perfect, but at the same time, I'm not on the other extreme that it's awful either. That's where I draw the line on that stuff. But Zobi here asking if we expect Starfield to have a perfect launch. Or will a game need a year or two and updates for it to be completed? I think the game will launch fine. But, I mean, what game doesn't have updates? I don't know.
I agree. As far as the perfect launch, I think the way they've been working on it is probably going to be one of the better launches.
Yeah.
This is something that Microsoft, and this is why it was delayed. Phil Spencer talked about it. Because they want it to be as bug-free as possible. So ironically, within the Bethesda community of fans, they're like, "Oh, we're kind of gonna miss the bugs if they're not. They're awkward." My daughter's one of them now. She's part of that I don't know, their fan bases. I'm not hating on their fan base. I'm just saying that's why I don't mess with them. Mm-hmm. Right? This is why I don't have any worries about Starfield, because nobody will hate and love Starfield more than their.
Yeah. Well, I mean that seems to be the case with every community. Have you seen the Halo community? They hate Halo. And then they love every single Then when the next season, oh, this is the greatest thing ever. Then a few weeks later, they hate Halo. Then the next season, the next upgrade. Oh, isn't Halo wonderful? Then a week later, they hate it. Bro, that's how it is with all these dedicated fan bases, man. If you want to see somebody hate something, be a fan be a diehard fan of that product. It's like sports team. Nobody shits on their sports team more than the fans,
Oh yeah.
right? Like me, nobody even cares about the Texans, but you'll find me hating on, talking down on them the moment they're awful. The Texans been awful for like 3 years in a row, and I'll be the first one to say, oh, they ain't winning nothing, them bums.
I see your
So
tweets, man.
nobody. So man, so nobody will ever hate anything more than the diehard fans.
Your tweets, man. It's just like Shane G, man. If you're listening, brother, then let me know, man. Are you a Pirates fan? Just asking, because I'm a Pirates fan. I'm a Steeler, Pirate, and Penguins fan. But sometimes I see Shane tweets on there. Dude, he act like he like a Phillies fan or something. So I thought he was a Phillies fan at first, because I was like, oh damn, dude, you going in hard on my team.
Yeah.
But for you, Unlimited, man, I see that. So sometimes I would see your stuff. I was like, oh man, I guess he's going through that emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But for the Halo, bro.
Yeah, that's how Bethesda fans are. That's how Halo fans are. That's how Call of Duty fans are. Look, every modern Call of Duty has been the worst one ever, and it's still the best-selling game every year.
Well, they got that normie power too. They got those, one gamers in there, dude. So that's a whole nother. But for me, like when you said about the Halo, dude, you know what taught me to remind me of that was those cat ears.
Oh,
when
yeah.
I saw that, dude, I didn't like that.
That was.
And in the beginning, dude, people was hunting those people. And then all of a sudden, dude, like you were saying, right, everybody's like, yeah, cat ears. Why is this on here, dude? This is not Halo. This makes us so stupid. Then all of a sudden, dude, I'd be in games and like little by little, dude, like they was taking over.
Mm-hmm.
And then like when you play against them, right? These are like newbies that are coming in that like from Overwatch or Fortnite, right? Like those guys, you can toss those guys like easily, man. But these dudes be like one shotting me, hitting me from across the map. I see this dude have cat ears. Then all of a sudden it changed, man. Like these dudes come out the closet. That's what it was in Halo with those cat ears. I mean, all these hardcore Halo fans that was complaining, or maybe they was just being quiet, man. But they just came out the closet all at one time, right. And then bam, I was like, what the? So I was surrounded, and my daughter jumped in. Like she started playing Halo just to get the cat ears. I had to buy it for her. That was another thing. So
right.
Those cat ears. I'm like, what are you serious?
Yeah, man. Those cat. Did you see? I forgot. And let me see if I could find it, because I remember reading that Halo made a lot of money just from those damn cat ears DLC. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
It was everywhere, man. Everybody started rocking. And what ended up happening when people started coming out, like the Halo fans started. So what happened? It transitioned and people accepted it, and then it sucked for me because I'm like, I'm like the lone person, man. And then it turned, right? They like, you be going to have a cat ear guy. You can't do that anymore because like the majority of the lobby, everybody had cat ears on. So I was like, I see how it is. I see how you guys are. You guys undercover.
Right. Right. And Shane G said no game has a perfect launch. Well, that's not necessarily true. Sci-Fi Rush had a phenomenal launch. And I remember I beat the game. I even beat the game live on my channel, and I don't remember it having any issues. Runs at a very smooth 60 frames. So that's not necessarily true, but for bigger games, that's probably true for bigger games because they got hundreds of man hours. They need to run at 4K and have all these bells and whistles. I mean, Dolby Vision and HDR and VRR and all that. So that's probably true for bigger games, but not for every game. Smaller games, I think most of them would launch pretty fine, at least from my experience.
Yeah, it also depends like what they're gonna do with the game. Like I was watching the Marvelous showcase. And Marvelous is like a Japanese publisher. It threw me off because I saw Marvelous and I thought Marvel. Right. And then I was kind of mad. I was like, well, let me see what they're doing now. What the hell is Marvel doing now? These morons. So I go click on the thing. It was actually a game showcase, and they're a Japanese publisher.
Mm.
And man, they were showing some stuff, and some of the games, and then my daughter watched it with me because they're taking some of their older games and they're updating, like Rune Factory. It's kind of like a sim game, but it looks like they're gonna keep the sim elements, but add some like action RPG elements to it. Like it was like it looked like a totally different game, but it still had the base of what the people liked.
Right.
So when you have stuff like like the only reason I bring that up is like you're saying, like when some of these companies decide like Arcane with Redfall. A lot of people don't realize that that's their first foray into that genre, and then the whole multiplayer thing versus single player. I don't know about all that. There's a lot of stuff going on about that. But just keep that in mind sometimes, and this is why Microsoft they go with Microsoft. And that's another thing I hope they don't lose, man. I know Redfall gets a lot of hate. I'm not making excuses. Like when I play the game, there's definitely I will say that it is unfinished. in a sense, they made the decision that we have to get this out. We have to stop it here and then do what they needed to do. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that sometimes, man, you need to do stuff like that because this what builds on other great games. Like
Right.
how I talked about earlier, being upset about Shenmue, but Shenmue, you were able to get Yakuza.
Right.
And I know not everybody likes Yakuza. I love Yakuza because what it
Yeah.
is, Yakuza became a thing, and then Yakuza over time has been. It's just like watching a good series. You know? Just like it's
Right.
like,
Yeah. I enjoyed. Oh, I like the spinoff Judgment and Lost Judgment. I
yeah,
enjoy. I beat them, by the way.
yes,
However, my one complaint, my biggest complaint, were the cutscenes were just too damn long in those games, that's a me thing. I've been clear about that. I don't like long cutscenes. Those are the Judgment games. Those cutscenes are what they were so long. My controller turned off, right, and I got to turn it back on and stuff. And you know how when the Xbox sits idle for a while, that pop up comes up, it'll tell you like your next achievement or something.
yeah.
That even came on during what cutscene? I'm like, come on, man, come on, game, hurry the fuck up. So that's my one issue I have with them. Like when you actually play the game, it's fun, but when you're watching it, it's just for me personally. I
Dude,
don't play games to watch them. That's my thing.
that's
I,
probably
I
the wrongest ones to play in the series because they are story driven.
yeah,
Like
man.
that other one that was really weird.
Yeah,
Kind of
and
Persona 5 -ish.
the mysteries be legit interesting.
Mhm.
Like in Judgment, when it turned out one of the cops was the serial killer or something like that.
Yeah.
Very good plot twist. It's just that when them cutscenes go on, I'm just like, holy, can this game just speed it up just a little bit? And I like Lost Judgment even more than Judgment. The sequel, again, extremely fun game when I was playing it, but oh my goodness, when them cutscenes were going on, I'm like, dude. The directors want they should have they thought that they were doing what Quantum Break did. They should put some live action. They thought they put a whole live action episode or something.
Put it on Netflix.
Yeah, put on Netflix the Lost Judgment show on Netflix, man, or something.
Judgment Chronicles. Yeah.
Man,
No,
they were long.
I'll say this: like if you look at like Yakuza, and this is why I mean, like my hate for that series totally came from as a Sega fan, right? Definitely. But as I've gotten into it, I've seen how they've taken the series and did that. Because like I'm playing the feudal Japan one, and so like a dragon.
Oh yeah, like
So it still keeps the elements of Yakuza, but then they have like a more of an RPGs action style to that stuff. So it just depends on what game in the series you're playing and what direction they went with it. And that's what I mean when I look at Redfall, a game like Redfall. There's so much upside and potential to it. And sometimes, like for me, like you have to take those risks. Now, again, granted, there's some stuff that fell off that should have been on top of. But I'm never gonna hate on Phil Spencer for because everybody's
no,
accused of not
oh
being
no,
hands-on. I'm like,
not
no,
at all.
it works for them not to do that way. Like when you take risks, that's why it was great what Phil said. Like, if you're in this industry, it's an entertainment industry, but when you're in this industry, if you're not going to take risks like that, then you shouldn't be in there. And I only say this to say this, guys. I'm just telling you, just you need this stuff, all of this stuff that especially for like, a lot of the younger gamers. None of this stuff happened overnight, dude. This was built. The foundation was laid years ago, and when people built out, it's like comic books. It's like I was trying to explain that to my daughter, right? Because we saw a picture of Vision, the first appearance of Vision, at a Funko Pop, and my daughter, the character was all red, and she's like, "Who is that?" I was like, "That's Vision," and she's like, "That's why does she look like that?" I was like, "That's how we started off." Right? Like a lot, and I was trying to explain to her the Vision that you see now in the Marvel, like even to the movie, there's years and decades of artists and writers and creators that took these characters and built them over time. Like the Batman you have now is nowhere near the Batman that first.
Yeah. The original Bill Finger, Bob Kane Batman,
Yes.
who had no problem shooting people.
Yes.
None at all.
Or Captain America. Captain America carried a gun.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what they showed in the movie, which was a good callback, right? But
Yeah.
Batman
movies would never do that. The fanboys will have a fit.
Oh yeah. But just keep that in mind, guys. You need sometimes you just look. I don't want it to fail, right? But I'm saying you can learn from your failures. The great thing about failures is that you actually own it.
Right? Yeah.
And what you decide to do with that is what makes you look, dude. Just go watch Rocky. Rocky 1 to 6, and I pretty much will tell you everything you need to know about the point I'm trying to make. So yeah, hey, what's up, Tool Man? Yeah, no telethon today, bro.
Yeah, that's next Friday. Join us on the Save a Pony telethon where we come together every once in a while to save the endangered species called
I want to
Sony
name it that, dude.
ponies.
I want to. We say in Hawaii, I want to cockroach that. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that title, dude. That's awesome. I'll credit you though.
All right.
Like they do in the comics, I'll get that little asterisk. This was
Oh
done on.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, thank you.
Yes, definitely. Definitely give you your props, man. That's awesome. I'm gonna use that title for. Yeah, not today, Tool Man, but you know how we run.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
we run it, dude. I mean, look, it is what it is. You know, this is how this. You know, this is Empire's rise and fall, and right now for us on the Xbox side, you know, we've been through the baptism by fire. I like to talk about.
Yep.
They've learned some lessons and stuff like that. But again, like one of my favorite scenes from Justice League when Flash asked Bruce Wayne, "What's his favorite? What is his power?" And what did Bruce say? Bruce is like, "I'm rich."
Yeah, I'm
Right?
rich. Yeah.
Again, like there's a lot of companies that would not be they can't they wouldn't survive this onslaught at all. But because Microsoft is involved now, you know, Xbox has a chance to really change everything. That's what I'm looking forward to, guys. I mean, I'm being totally honest with you guys right now. I mean, I want to see them like push this industry forward, like Sega did back in the day. Right? Minus the going out of business and going bankrupt. Yeah, we don't want that. But what's Zobi say here? What is your opinion on BlackRock forcing an LGBT trans anti-male grooming agenda on their games? That was obviously shown. Not just their games, bro, on everything. That social credit score thing is real. The
Yeah.
ESG, all that stuff, dude. This is why I'm not for digital. You know, you see gamers are hardcore on digital versus physical.
Mm-hmm.
Some have strong opinions on it. I'll put that on there for me, dude. I'm like, no, I don't want to go on digital on that end because that's giving control. Just like with me, when I buy my movies on Microsoft, I always gonna get a kickback from that, but I don't buy anything full price
Right.
when it comes to the movie because you don't own that, dude. And with the movie stuff, we know how the studios are and stuff like that. They're brutal on that kind of stuff.
Right.
So for me, it's like, yeah, yeah, it's real, right? But I mean, it's all over. But you do see pushback on it and stuff like that. Hat tip to Japan, right?
Did I see what?
That you see pushback on it as far
Oh
as
yeah.
but like I'll say hat tip to Japan because Japan is like one of the few. You know, look, the Japanese. I mean, love or hate them for some of the decisions they made, but when it comes to this stuff, they're like, no. This is why the Mario movie was huge. If you guys didn't know, the studio wanted to put some stuff in there. They actually wanted to make Princess Peach the main player, right? And then Japan was like, Nintendo was like, nah, no. I
Yeah.
told them no. And then they were going to try and put their weight, and Nintendo was going to walk away, right? Because that's what they do. And for all, you know, like I don't agree with some of the stuff Japan does with their own things, but I'm saying the one thing I do respect about them is they allow you to have that choice. Because look, I watch a lot of anime. My kids watch
Mm-hmm.
anime. There's stuff I tell my kids they are not allowed to watch. Thank
Mm-hmm.
God they're not interested in that stuff. We watch the same kind of anime. So I won't get into the weeds with my daughter where she watches that drama stuff,
Mm-hmm.
like the cute boy at the Japanese high school in the club, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just gonna watch Demon Slayer. Right? You watch that, I will watch my Demon Slayer, and then we'll be fine. But what they do is it's just like with anything else. They have a variety and options for you to choose from, and you got to do what we did back in the day, right? Unlimited. We're kind of older. Is what we did. We just didn't watch it. Like when I'm on Netflix and I see something like I was honest with you guys, 100 man. I'm not gonna finish
Mhm.
Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm not. It's an awesome game, dude. If you like that kind of game, highly recommend it, dude. It's awesome. It's well done. But I don't get down with that type of realism in my game when it comes to that stuff. That's just me. And I was playing it and it was getting a little bit too heavy for me, so I dipped. But I'll tell you guys that. Does that mean I hate that game? No. Does it mean that you guys like I'm gonna for like I should, like am I gonna form like a coalition of people to try and bring that game down? No. Right. I'm not your daddy. Right.
Mhm.
You guys decide what you want to play, but I make my own personal choices. So sorry. Did you want to? Sorry, Emily, did you want to say?
Um. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, God, I'm so sick of this topic. But yeah, man. Um. It's eventually, hopefully, stuff like that fails more and more, and then maybe these companies will learn. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's clear that we don't have power to stop anything, or else June wouldn't be the most annoying month of the fucking year for a lot of people, right? So hopefully, as people fight against anything like that, um, and we'll end up winning in the end. Uh, but other than that, we'd have to talk about it deeper because, uh, yeah, I don't be thinking that like I don't think an ugly woman in a video games mean it's anti-male. That's a little, or that is grooming. How's how that, or that is pushing in gender to grooming people. So
Oh, I'll say this. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't. I'm sorry. Just really quickly.
yeah,
My opinion on that Zobi was I didn't think they did that as an agenda thing. It could be. I could be wrong. But what
yeah,
I will say is that one thing I loved about that, the way she looked, is that it fit the trailer for me.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Fable's always been a humorous game, and
Yes.
and just like
Characterization.
a ugly woman. What is, here's my thing. Everybody hyper focuses on her, but ignore Kay from Star Wars, Sarah from Starfield, the other black Noelle from Starfield. I mean, the black woman in the Clockwork Revolution trailer, the
Or a
black
girl
woman
from
from the black woman from South of Midnight.
yes.
The lady that was originally on the State of Decay trailer. So are black people, are black people part of this agenda? Are female women, are all women a part of it? Because the only ugly woman in the whole showcase was the girl from Fable, and everybody hyper focuses on her. And I just that's where I just don't think that's where for me that conspiracy theory doesn't land completely. I would need to see something else that'll show me that, for like the grooming claim. I would really need some evidence of that one, because grooming is a serious issue, especially towards anyone. But when you say grooming, I'm assuming it's towards kids. I don't even remember seeing any kids in that trailer for there to be grooming thing. Um,
For which one?
for Fable that
Oh,
Zobi was talking about. The LBC. We just went through June, and please let's not talk about that stuff until next June, please, because you know Sony games got all the representation you need, and I'm sure there'll be an Xbox game with a gay character one day, and everybody's gonna flip out and about that too. But
yeah.
yeah, some of it is kind of changing with the times. Of others is them forcing that stuff on it. And but yeah, but that's my argument mostly, is that it's so was Fable the only one? Was every woman in the showcase, was every woman there anti-male? Because remember, in the 360 days, every protagonist was a grizzled white, brown-haired white dude. Damn near every single one. There used to be a meme, literally. There used to be a meme about it. Sega Forever showing all the protagonists from the 360 and PS3 era, and they all look the same, grizzled, And now we legitimately have more diverse protagonists than ever, and now of all times, people act like gaming is racist and sexist. I don't know, and I'm not like blind against any type of agenda out there. I think some of it is legit. I'm just not sure if Fable was specifically that he used in the example.
Well, I think like I'm not, like I'm gonna say like this. I'm not saying that you're like I don't know. Look, dude, I can't read the people's mind that did it. All I can base it on, for me, is what Fable is and what that trailer did. So, like I talked about earlier, Fable's always been a caricature. The people in Fable has been a caricature, and the thing that I loved about the trailer the most is, remember, you're getting the perspective of the giant. The
Right.
giant is the one talking, so
Yeah.
he's the one telling the story. That's why everybody's shocked that he's a giant at the end.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And homegirl ain't Detroit. She ain't stiffing kids like Joe Biden, man. So you know,
That's a whole nother level. Yeah, they
yeah,
would put that in there. I'll
yeah,
rather.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But I'm not like Zobi. Like, you know me, Zobi, man. I mean, I'll
yeah,
rather.
no, yeah.
And like I will say this, like for me personally, I know, like I'm a little bit deeper on this than Unlimited. Like I can tell you right now, like with my kids, some of the stuff they was bringing home from school, and I live in
Mhm.
Hawaii, and they was bringing home some stuff from school, and the parents here was like, well, "What do you
Oh,
guys?"
y'all ain't gonna have it, huh?
Yeah. Oh well. Look, I mean, like especially like local parents, bro.
Mm.
We are another level of like, oh, what you say? If anybody like, I'd say like, hey, if anybody gonna give our kids wrong information or mess them up, it's gonna be me, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I don't like this. I don't like. You know what I don't like about modern society, and I don't know, we're kind of getting off topic here. I don't like how modern society is so strongly trying to force everybody to think one way.
Yeah,
I don't like that
that's
at
not
all.
gonna work. Yeah,
Listen, I'll die. I don't care what anybody say. I'll die on this hill. Um, a racist should be able to exist. You know, if he wants to live with hate in his heart and the privacy of his own home, that's on him. Now, here's the thing. My thing has always been when it comes to okay, be openly racist, be openly sexist. Understand there are consequences, but you're still allowed to do it without being thrown in jail. You know, now if you're a racist and you try to kill a black person, of course you're going to go to jail because you committed a violent crime that was attempting to kill somebody. That's worth being punished for. But being racist on yourself, even though I hate racism with all my heart, I still think you're allowed to because I'm that big. Like when I say I'm an absolutist on stuff like our free speech and all our freedoms, I'm an absolutist on it. The Second Amendment, absolutist on it. You know, I'm not one who thinks that we should have any of our rights taken away. That's why I hate a lot of the post 9/11 security laws that been passed. You know,
Mhm.
like the Patriot Act. I hate them type of laws because they were such a blatant what's that word I'm thinking of saying forever? Like a blatant attack on our personal freedoms.
Overreach, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and I don't like Big Brother government and none of that. And so that's how I am politically. You know, you'll never find me being like hardcore left or right per se. You
Mhm.
know, I tend to see myself a bit more practical. But if there is one thing that you'll see me be passionate about, it's a lot of our freedoms, and so that means having controversial takes. Like I think a part of freedom is that bad things exist. And let me give you an example of what I mean. If we're gonna have the right to own guns, then of course our gun violence in this country is gonna be higher than a country when it's banned. That's just duh. But for some reason, everybody think it's like this big, unforgivable thing about America. Well, that's part of how about this? How about we teach more responsible gun ownership then? Because it's you and you can't. People think that you could just go to Walmart and walk out with like a basket full of guns. You can't do that. Just trust me as a gun owner. It
Yeah.
don't work like that, right? But but um
Changes from state to
but when people act like oh, but America has guns. Well, of course they do because you can own guns in this country. That's part of listen. Part of freedoms mean you accept the good and the bad, and freedom means that sometimes people are going to make choices that just aren't good. You know, it is what it is. If you have the freedom to eat yourself to death and not take responsibility for your health, that's on you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the same comes with gun violence, and the same comes with other consequences of freedom. It's going to be the good and the bad, and to me, that's the beauty of it. I don't need this. I don't like this fake utopia nonsense where society tries to pretend that everybody's going to come together and kumbaya. That's not Stop forcing that on us because all that's doing is creating more division because it turns out it's almost like people have different views and beliefs and we used to, and you could get along with that and live cordially, but the way society just pushes everybody against each other. Uh, I, I think i think if you haven't cut on, I think that's the one thing we need to catch up on as a collective. Sega Forever is that
Mhm.
it's so clear we're being divided, that the powers that be, and I refuse to participate in it. And excuse me for giving my soapbox on a video game podcast about something so serious.
No,
There,
it's yeah. I mean, it's no problem because it's actually coming into it's coming into everything pop culture. Yeah, that's the problem.
yeah,
Like something is like the problem a lot of people have with all this stuff. And I'm talking across the board, guys. Is that we participate in this stuff to escape from reality.
right.
This is why I do it.
Yeah, man. That's a
And I'm
problem.
like sitting here I'm a hardcore comic book guy, and I'm
Mhm.
talking with people online, and I have to tell people online, this stuff's not real.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah,
like, I never thought I'd be
yeah,
that person, right? Especially when I was younger. Like where we grew up, dude, this stuff was looked down upon.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
that's
Oh
probably what kept
man.
it
But but that
everything
yeah,
happening.
that's what kept it. But I mean, that did keep the communities kind of fun and
Yeah,
tight.
yeah. You
With
have to go through fire to do the
Yeah,
work.
yeah. I'll say this. I mean, when I was a kid, there kind of was a stigma about being in video games, but being an adult, it's not. It's never been a big deal. For example, women. I mean, any woman I ever dated or have come over, they've always seen my video games and they never cared. Like my
Mhm.
video, me being a gamer has never impacted my dating life. When I think like when Hebot talks about how it was and how video gamers were considered nerds, it probably did for him at one point.
Oh yeah,
So that's where you see like the changing culture, throughout the years and
it's way
stuff
more
like that.
accepted now. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's good in some aspects, but as you can see, we kind of do need some gatekeeping, man, because the people that swarm into these fandoms are getting ridiculous. And a lot of people don't be knowing what they're talking about and somehow be the loudest voices in these communities, especially
Did you see?
comics.
Did you see Ice Cube's videos lately?
No, I didn't. No, I
You
didn't see
should
Ice
go.
Cube's
Yeah,
video.
go. You should go check out Ice Cube, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out.
He kind of got canceled, man. I feel for him.
Oh
Ice
man,
Cube to me is like he's been on 100
oh,
his
he
life.
must have said something real, and they got pissed off.
Well, I won't say it here, but I mean, go check it out, dude. If you talk
All right.
about gatekeeping and stuff, he definitely is talking about that. But let's say so. The problem I have with people is they completely went over Redfall as if the game is not received. Yeah, then and Google. That's a great comment, and I just want to address this really quickly. You know, when I was growing up, it was called you just walk away.
Yeah,
Like, just like there's people who make videos about this stuff, and I sit there listening to them. I'm like, you don't
yeah,
have to. Like, Microsoft is not forcing you to buy the game or play the game. You don't have to play it. You know, like look, like, everybody, like you said, bro. I'm like you. Like, everybody has an opinion. Definitely give it. Like, free speech. I'm the same way. But I mean, at some point, you kind of like, well, just walk away.
yeah,
You don't have to
exactly.
play it, right?
Yeah, you don't like everything doesn't have to be a call to arms, man. You can just
Yes.
let some things go, you know. And I see. I always one of my favorite sitcoms was Married with Children, and I always use this as an example because I remember it like yesterday.
Mhm.
The housewives used to write to that show to get it canceled, and you know
Yes.
what the writer said about that? The people they like go screw yourself, and kept writing the show for the audience, and it was a huge hit that put Fox on the map back in the '90s.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the one show that put them over the edge.
Yeah, and for some reason we lost that as a collective. We lost that ability to just be like, if you don't like something, just tell them to go screw themselves and move on. Now they do the opposite, where for some reason they placate to every single complaint. It doesn't matter if the person who complained about, like the lady who used to complain about women in video games, right? She wasn't a gamer, and yet a lot of them capitulated to it. And now you got the opposite end where people are complaining nonstop about women, pretty much looking like nuns in video games and things like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, for me, it's like the creative process. So like when I look at something like that, I'll tend to critique you on the creative aspects that you're trying to, and I don't mean like I'll come down on you or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
But what I do is I look at it again, going back to the Fable, with the Fable thing. When I looked at it, right, it fit the narrative, and it made sense, and it was funny, and the points that hit in that trailer was because of those choices that they made. So that's why I have absolutely no problem with it. Now, Wilkins says Bethesda literally says Starfield has less bugs than any Bethesda game of all time. Do you research you would be? He's going in on Zoe. Yeah, Wilkins. Yeah, we talked about that. And that's one of the reasons why I got delayed. Phil Spencer really was. They put a lot of time and effort. In fact, that's why people were pushing back on Phil on Redfall.
Right. Yeah. And let me say this, guys. I'm telling you right now, whatever bugs are in Starfield, they're going to hyper focus on that and pretend that's
Yes.
the experience for everybody. I'm letting you guys know right now. Listen, I've been doing this long enough to peep game basically. What's going to listen? The moment that somebody finds a bug, whether it's Digital Foundry, whether it's a PlayStation fanboy who somehow conveniently got an Xbox to play the game, even though they pretend to boycott Bethesda, the moment they find a bug, they're going to put it on Twitter. Everybody going to hyper react. Oh, look at how this game is trash. And then people going to be in our comments being like, well, how can you play Starfield when the game has a bug at this part? Even though a minute amount of people will probably experience it. That's what's going to happen.
Dude, I could already see the titles of Dreamcast Guy and Reforged Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, you 100% on that. How was LGBT agenda? Wilkin again. What's up, Wilkin, bro? Thanks for coming.
Yeah, to me, the LBT agenda is like when I see about like the drag shows around kids and stuff. That's an agenda, and that's something I'm against. I don't think drag people in drag should be around kids. I don't think an ugly woman in video games though is part of the agenda. That's that and maybe it's supposed to be something subtle, I guess, but.
Well, I know for like if you guys play Fable, right? You have the ability to marry somebody of the same sex.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Now, how far they're gonna take that in this new version, given how Microsoft is with their we all know, right? So I don't know how far
They can't be any worse than Sony. Sony has like 7 fucking gay characters and 6 exclusives.
dude. So and then you know the thing, but Sony is like so corporate with that stuff too. You could just
Yeah,
feel it.
yeah, I know. It's
I mean, look, I'll be 100% with you guys, dude. If you guys know Microsoft, right? They look. If that stuff bothers you, then maybe skip Fable or at least wait.
yeah,
Well, it's gonna be in Game Pass, so you can play it. And if you
yeah.
don't like it, just walk on. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I ain't skipping Fable, especially because in that game you'll be able to create your character anyway. So
Well, in
if
the
you want to
original
play as a
Fables,
man,
yeah, you didn't have to. You had a choice, right? And then you could do other things in the game, which
which
yeah,
altered your appearance and things like that.
yeah. So I don't
Yeah.
think with Fable being the way that it is, guys, I don't foresee that at all. They're also going to put it in Game Pass. They're trying to drive a Game Pass on a mass level for the which would mean like well, I shouldn't say that too because Disney should be doing the same thing.
Mhm.
Anyway, I don't know. I'm sorry. I keep on bringing Disney up. It just pissed me off. Okay, let's see. Um, Zobi Flaccid Pointers. Yeah, go. Well, I mean, but you need that go. To be honest with you, man, you need. I'll be 100 with you guys, man. You need guys like Zobi, and I'm not talking like. Look, dude, we all know the people on social media that are just saying stuff just to say stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, notice I haven't attacked Zobi or anything. I'm just like I could disagree with somebody without attacking them,
yeah,
basically.
like I've told Zobi that myself. That I disagree with him on quite a few things. Actually, we don't see eye to eye. But
Yeah.
yeah, but it's fine, dude. Look, dude. I'm a kind of person. And I've had a person on Twitter said that they accuse me of blocking them, and I'm like, dude, I don't block anybody, dude.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
If you want to say whatever you want to say, fine. You know what it is, guys, and this is why I like our group, especially the chat, dude. This is like again credit to who's our boy, bro? Zinc, other Zinc.
Yeah.
Dude, when he talked about the chats, always on fire. The chats, like, I mean, I was in the chat, but I
Mhm.
was really, it made me hyper focus on it. And then I just couldn't believe, like, oh, yeah, dude, he's absolutely right. Because you're just talking, right? But if you look at it as a whole, man, just the amount of the commentary and just the knowledge of everybody that comments in our chats. And I'm talking not just mine, like all of ours. And I know it's like a lot of the same people, right? But then some other chats as well. Like I know, like Sega Man gets a bunch of different people in his chats and stuff like that. But you need that. You need that variety. And you need those differing of opinions. Like Unlimited was saying earlier, that's the problem with this country. Like I
Mhm.
100% believe e pluribus unum, man, out of many one. Right? Because we, unlike other countries, man, like if you go to Japan, like my kids just went to Japan, they were blown away. And we live in Hawaii, guys. I live in Hawaii, and it is Asian predominant here
Right.
in Hawaii. Right? Like I'm like National Geographic. When somebody sees me walking around, they see this big dude walking around, they're like, "Oh, dude, you Hawaiian," right? And they want to take a picture with me because they come to
Right.
Hawaii. And you just very rarely, unless you go certain places. I'm not saying we don't exist, but and I'm not saying we unicorns, but I'm saying like the bloodline is getting thin.
Right.
Right? So we have tourists that come here and see me and they want to talk to me about stuff. Unfortunately for them, I grew up in the mainland and I'm a nerd. So I can't really tell them about like some stuff they want to know. They'd be like, dude, how do you guys catch this fish? I'm like, I have no idea, dude. I don't like going to the water. Like I'm that dude. Right. But what I'll
They,
say
they,
is,
they thought y'all were like that girl from Lilo and Stitch.
oh dude, man, don't even get started on this. Although that is a pretty accurate representation, not gonna lie. When she punches that girl in the face, that's pretty much how my sister.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, dude. But my kids, we live in Hawaii. They went to Japan, and even they were
Mhm.
blown away by Japan. Like
Right.
they texted me like, "Dad, everybody here is Japanese." I'm like, "I know you're in Japan." No, Dad, everybody here is Japanese. Not a little bit Japanese, not mixed, not Korean
Mhm.
Japanese, not Hawaiian Japanese, not local Japanese. They are like Japanese, like
Right.
99% Japanese. And I'm like, didn't you expect that? But it's one thing to know that, but when they actually went and experienced it. Like
Yeah.
when you
That
say
that's
Japan is homogenous, it is totally, completely homogenous.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So in America, so I'm sorry, my point is in America, right? We have that diversity. A lot of people take
Mhm.
that stuff for granted. That's why I like e pluribus unum, right? Because we're so diverse, we have to come together on singularity, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And that's what and the left leaning side has this issue bad where they tend to pretend that this country is somehow worse than it is, and I'm not going to get behind that.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I haven't been to everywhere in the world, but I've been out the country before. I've been to other states. I've been to other cities, and I've met my share of different people. And And you know, I always thought it was a good thing. I always thought it was a good thing that we have our differences. You know, that we're different and stuff. But what's I think it's just that there's something that's going on now that's so purposely driving that wedge and trying to put us against each other, and I don't like it. I don't think it's sustainable. I don't
No,
think.
yeah, and that's the thing. But I mean, because individuality, right, is such an important thing for us on this side, right? And I'm talking across the board, like me as a Hawaiian, like the a couple brothers on the road, they think differently, they act differently. We have
Mhm.
different values, and we live in the same area, grow up kind of the same way, in a sense, right? We have stuff that we agree on, but there's a lot of stuff like we don't agree on, right?
Right.
And that's just the way life is. Like so, like for a lot of the things, right? If you have like just to say if you don't like one group of people over another and
Mhm.
stuff like that, just take those people out of the equation, right? Like if Hawaii was just full of Hawaiians, do you think everything would be perfect?
Right. Right.
No, right? Because and because everybody has different values, and there's all kind of other stuff that's going on. Like you see it in the world right now, right? And that's one of the uniqueness. I think one of the greatest things about America is just our cultural influence, right? It's like I'm a big like we're gonna talk about K-pop and K-dramas and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And then you have anime, right? Like I
Mhm.
watch My Hero Academia,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's an awesome anime. And but one of the things I get from that is I love it because it reminds me of the way Marvel used to be.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I'm like you kind of introduced me to it. So I've been watching it here and there, and I
Yeah,
really do like the superhero aspect to it. You
it
know,
has a lot of like weird Japanese stuff in there, so
yeah,
you
yeah,
catch
yeah.
that.
But you could see that the writers or the creator, whoever I don't know the creator like I do American comic writers. So forgive me for not knowing who created it, guys. But I could tell the creator he has a love for his home and for the Western style of comics, and I like that. I like that. You know, I'm slow, and I don't watch anime to the extent that you or your family does.
Yeah,
Really, I really just mostly like Yu Yu Hakusho
yeah.
and I'm kind of I'm kind of getting to My Hero and sometimes Dragon Ball. You know, other than that, my knowledge on anime doesn't. Well, let's put it this way: I could tell you a lot about comics that I can about anime, uh, and you know, and
But
it's not without trying either. You know,
I don't feel bad. Like it comes from the manga, so my daughter's all into the manga, so I get that from
yeah,
her.
yeah, yeah,
Why don't you read the manga? I was like, look, dude, I don't like reading backwards, and I like
yeah,
color. I don't like reading backwards, and I like color. Right, so that's two
yeah, yeah.
strikes. So
Yeah,
just watching the cartoon.
when I was in high school, I had a good friend. We used to call him Toothpick, and he was huge
Classic,
manga fan.
classic.
Yeah, he was a huge manga fan, man. And like I'll bring my comics to school, he'll bring his manga, and
Oh,
we'll just be sitting next to each other reading it, man, and
okay.
just we'll just be talking smack about the other. You know, we just do it jokingly, not in a disrespectful way. We'll
Yeah.
just be talking smack about, oh, well, hey man, waking me up when your comics have colors in it and stuff like that.
Hey.
Oh man, but good times, man. I miss Toothpick, man. He went to the army, and I haven't seen him since, man.
Oh, so I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a choice thing too. But her Wilkin, like Ogopol, where were the gay and trans people in Fable trailer? What did I miss? No, no. So Wilkin, I think the possibility of it being in Fable could be possible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, look what Microsoft did with the avatars. I'll just put that out.
What game?
You know the Microsoft avatars.
With what? Oh, the avatars.
Look what Microsoft
See,
did.
I don't even use the avatars, so I don't even know. I never liked them, so I don't even know what they did to them. They
I mean,
must have did something wild.
the avatars were inclusive, right? Covert.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
And
yeah.
look,
It's corporate inclusive, not real inclusive. So I'm betting because anytime because now inclusive is one of them words now where you kind of cringe because you know what's coming after that. It's gonna be something awful.
yeah. So I mean, so I just bring up that point to say that Microsoft is pro that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stuff. So I could see it. I don't. I hope it's not in the game just for the simple fact of people just look. I've been watching. I've been in pop culture for a long time. I watched.
Hmm.
There was a show back in the day called Soap.
Hmm.
I actually love it. It was actually a riff on soap operas,
Uh-huh.
and it kind of found its own niche. It had an all star cast. In fact, Billy Crystal. That's one of the first things. If you guys know who Billy Crystal is,
Yeah,
that's one
yeah,
of the
yeah.
first gigs that he got. And Billy Crystal was a part of this family. And the dad was like a hardcore blue collar guy. The brother was like a tough blue collar guy. And Billy Crystal was gay. right? And so it was one of those things that they did in the show where they kind of mentioned it because what it is back in the 70s, right? For all the finger ringing we do now, or hand ringing we do now, back in the 70s, that kind of stuff was real. So
Mhm.
what the shows used to do is like if you guys watch Sanford and Son, if you guys watch Good Times, Archie Bunker's Place, right? There was the writers back then were trying to. It's just like Marvel back in the day with X-Men. They were on their soapbox doing stuff creatively, without hurting the creative part aspect of it. But they were making
Yeah,
a point,
yeah,
right? And this is what we call like I know Unlimited loves to use this word, which is spot on, nuance and being
hmm
subtle, right? That's just a mark of a good writer. I mean, if you go back and watch
yeah,
it, you should
yeah,
join for that.
yeah, man. Now they beat you over the head with it, man.
Because you see guys
Yeah,
getting bent over, like,
yeah.
I mean, it's like okay, you
Yeah,
know,
they be see back in the day, you watch Sanford and Son, and they'll make some jokes. It'll be funny as hell though.
oh, dude,
So
yeah.
that's what also work with something like Sanford and Son. It'll be downright hilarious. It
And
didn't
when you
matter.
put it
It didn't
away,
matter.
when
He
you
was making fun of
put off,
Asians. It did not matter. My homie Red Fox was making fun of Asians. He was funny.
see,
All right.
some of his best stuff is when he went off reservation. Dude.
Yeah.
Like he turned into Red Fox that did his stand up comedy.
Yeah, man. It was
Oh,
killing
dude, you were like, I don't think that was in the script.
me.
Because for like I said, for all the hand wringing we do now, back then they actually had that kind of stuff.
hmm
Like that stuff mattered to them. I think we should actually. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I think we should bring some of that back because some of these people nowadays, dude, they just we got like fan fiction people trying to write like big budgeted Hollywood stuff, and it's not working. It's just
hmm
not working, dude. Like any type of person that writes will tell you, man, you're writing for an audience, you're not writing for yourself. And these dudes are just too full of themselves, from the directors to the producers to some of these writers. And it's killing the industry, man. I'm just being 100, you know. And again, this is an all-in cast. We talk about pop culture, but I mean, this is why, you had Disney for all the, yeah, it's funny, dude. I love listening to E-Rock and Unlimited, and then I agree with them, right? But I mean, it's funny to me that like you guys are gonna get James Gunn to do the DC
Yeah.
stuff, and I want to throw up red flags real quick. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, I mean, I guess you're just gonna, yeah, you just gotta get incorporated into the Marvel way on your stuff. I hope he does well. I hope he does well. 'Cause
Yeah,
he does
I hope so too because as a DC fan, I'm getting sick of the negativity. Flash is the biggest bomb ever, and it beat the last biggest bomb, Shazam, and it's like, oh my goodness.
I mean, if you're a diehard Marvel fan, and you count your stars, man. Because I'm telling you, man. Because I grew up in that time. I grew up in a time with DC, and to an extent, they still dominate
hmm
because of the brand, dude. I'm telling you, dude. Every time you see an S, man, like an S on like symbolized S, dude. I bet you like 7 out of 10 people easily Superman, and you can't
Yeah,
buy that kind of brand power, dude. You can't buy that kind of brand power at all.
yeah, yeah. As long as they're protective with Superman the way they are with Batman, hopefully it works out. You
Dude, did you
know.
see the Sailor Moon thing with Superman?
Oh, for that cartoon, yeah. I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check that cartoon out.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna check that cartoon out, man. It looks well animated, and the character designs look interesting. If it could touch some, if it could be even like a quarter as good as the old Superman cartoon in the '90s, then I'll be happy. Because I love DC's animated stuff.
Yeah,
Their animation is usually excellent. Hopefully when I check it out, it's as good. It's good because
I think
it's been a long time since a solo Superman cartoon.
I'll say this. I mean, I think the only thing Marvel has over DC in a sense is and I'm talking about it's just like the PlayStation, right? How
hmm
the PlayStation dominates the media and the conversation. That's basically Marvel movies, right? They're like the PlayStation of that. And I'm not saying they make bad stuff, right? Well now they're making total horrible stuff, right? So we'll call phases 1 through 3 like PlayStation 1 and 2 maybe, right? So they built that brand and they had some good content and stuff like that. And then what's happening now though, right? And that's the sad thing. It's like DC actually should be dominating. But sometimes, man, when I see some of the stuff they do, I'm like, dude, don't do the Marvel thing. Don't fall. But that has nothing to do with activism or anything like that, dude. That's pure 100% studio stuff, dude. Because they've been doing that for years, man. They see something successful, they just copy it, right? And we need to get over that as well, dude. I mean, especially with DC. Man. Like for me, like when I look at DC, dude, I want them to be like the DC I hated
hmm
back in the back in the 80s. I just hated DC with a passion because Marvel was we were the second. We always were the second. As good as much as I love Marvel, we
Uh,
just didn't have the brand that DC had, and they had some.
oh, okay, yeah. 'Cause I was about to say DC was fire in the '80s, man.
No,
That's when they had the British Revolution. That's when Frank Miller didn't lose his mind. It was a good writer and
well, my daughter
revitalized.
was giving me crap about that, right? Because I didn't really think about it. My daughter was like, because we were there, and I was telling them about Teen Titans and
Mhm.
what's his name's run uh, on Wonder Woman when they attached her back to the mythology. And I was telling them all this stuff. I was talking about Guy Gardner, and they were like, "Dad, I thought you hated DC." I'm like, I do hate DC." And I was like telling them more about DC than most DC people now. She's kind
Yeah,
of like she kind of called me out on that. I was like, well, I mean, if you're a comic book person, plus you gotta know your enemy.
yeah,
Like, it's one of those things like, okay, how good is this comic book? Then I'm here to watch, especially when they revamped the Justice Society and Justice League.
hmm
That was
hmm
pretty awesome. That was
yeah.
pretty
That
awesome.
was that was. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm with you there as a DC fan. That'd be like me not knowing who Chris Claremont is. Like,
Yeah,
dude, the X-Men were the team when I was a kid of Marvel. Like, I mean, people think the Avengers are big now. No, the X-Men ruled Marvel for a time when I was a kid, and then Spider-Man was that close second. The Avengers were not that popular when I was young, to be honest with you. You know,
you have to be you have to be a Marvel fan.
yeah, yeah, yeah. When I was young, I mean, you had the Chris Claremont, like he wrote X-Men for like 20 years or something like that. He had a long run. You know,
Well,
then that was around the time you had them legends like Todd McFarlane taking over Spider-Man, and that blew up. That was one of the best selling comics ever when he took over Spider-Man.
it was so
So
his
yeah,
run
go
was
ahead.
so good on Spider-Man that he actually gave him his own comic.
What was that?
He got his own comic off of that.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then of course when you see Spawn, that's where people make
Mm-hmm.
the correlation when he came up with Spawn.
Yep.
But I'll say this much. I mean, Chris Claremont. I mean, he just had a run of epic proportions, man. When you think of some of
Yeah.
the greats in sports, right? this is
Yeah,
like
man.
he was
That
like the Michael Jordan of our time.
Yeah, he really was. I mean, I mean, even now, I don't think people realize any X-Men story that you think of was probably Chris Claremont. You know,
Yeah,
from
just
days of
like you mentioned, Frank Miller. Frank Miller is responsible for 85%, 70 to 80%. Yeah, 80% of the comic book stories you're getting right now in live
yeah,
action.
yeah,
It's Frank Miller,
exactly. Yeah,
but he got
man.
canceled, so he's gone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that, I
This
mean,
dude has been one of the most liberal guys I've ever seen in my life. If
yeah,
you guys
yeah.
haven't read the Dark Knight Returns, go back and read that. This is one of those liberal men I've ever met. Most talented guys, and I mean classical liberal guys.
And
And he did one comic book where Batman like assaulted some person of color, and then he was
mhm,
done.
yeah,
Like, the internet came after him, and we haven't heard
yeah.
from him since. So I was like,
You know, he had them books like Holy Terror, which was
yes, yes,
I mean, to be fair, that was genuinely bad though. That was around the time that, but you could tell he was like frustrated with the industry during that era.
yeah. He was frustrated.
He kind of need to divorce himself from comics after that though.
Yeah, and he's old. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
guys would get old. You know, like I was in the
Hmm.
gym today, watching all these guys throwing up the weight. I got my little 20 pounds, doing my little
Mm,
shoulder exercise.
hmm.
You know, you just gotta roll, man. Like when I was younger, dude,
Hmm.
I was squatting over 300-400 pounds easy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and then you have your heavy days and stuff like that. But that's not the time for me. Right, the time for me now is function.
Hmm.
Where it was like about beauty, now it's about function. Right?
Right.
That's all that matters to me. So it gives you a different perspective for a lot of us, whether it's in comic books, gaming, or just producing anything in pop culture. Right, perspective is important.
Hmm.
But then when that age kicks in, so I'm sorry, like Gogo, what anti-male grooming? Yeah, I don't, we don't know. Dude, like I said, we're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
waiting
Yeah.
for them to come on and see what they do.
Yeah. That topic was.
Do you guys know the woke agenda is just ad version? It's all BS. Some of it is real, dude.
Yeah,
Some of
yeah.
it.
So yeah, no. Some of it is legit, man. Some of the stuff that I've seen pushed on kids, I'm 100% against. But I don't. I just don't think Fable's a good
You know
example.
how it's real, Gogo. I'll tell you how it's real. When the person can't win his argument or accept it,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that's when that creeps in because if you can't, it's just look, dude. I'll just put it to you honestly, dude. It's like as a Christian, right? If you got to go there and testify and win souls for Jesus and all this kind of stuff, and what defines that is when you're presenting it, and it's another thing if you try to stuff it down your throat, right? That's where it goes over the line, right? Because and that's a lot of these people. That's why I call this wokeness and everything like that. It's like a religion, right? It's becoming a cult now, if I'm being perfectly honest, where people are just so hardcore, like how anybody can let something, like whether if it's in video games, like we talk a lot about this, that guys we consider ponies, they're so hardcore on it that like we watched this whole court case, and you got very differing opinions, and I'm talking about people that are follow Xbox, people that are in business, people that are legal analysts and stuff. They had one perspective that was all kind of the same, like on the same area. Then you have people that were pro Sony that just was giving you a different story about what's going on in the case. And how did that all pan out? Microsoft won. So we know who was telling the truth and who wasn't. Right? Like never get attached to anything to the point where you lose track of reason, and not to be able to see things clearly. Like I was talking about earlier. Sometimes you get lost in that soup, and then you can't see, you can't make heads or tails of where you are, and never be that person. I mean, that's my own personal advice to everybody.
Right.
Well, some of it's real social engineering. Yeah, you're right there, Golden. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
You're 100%.
Good comment, man.
I see it with my kids. If my kids come home, they have stuff, and I'm like, no. So I write to school and say, no, this is not how I raise my kids. I raise my kids a certain way. And then the school pushed back on me, and then I'm like, well, I'm gonna come down there, and they're like, okay, Mr. Tripp, that's okay. I'm like, yeah, I know it's okay. It's gonna be okay, because either you listen to me, or my kids will not be at school.
Yeah. I listen. I don't think society is not your kids' parents. They should not be telling you. They should not be teaching them morals, or at least or at least try to overshadow your teachings.
Dude, I'll even go as far as this, and this is not just a social engineering thing, brother. I will say this much: it was about math.
No.
It was about math, dude, and I'm like, dude, they don't teach this anywhere else, right? No, my kids will learn math the way I teach them, and then the school's telling me why I need to come to classes. I'm like, no, well, you're gonna pay my rent, you gonna pay my bills, because I gotta work. So it was this whole thing. I mean, it's a cornucopia of stuff where we talked about overreach earlier. That's one of the things I'll say. But let's see. Has Zobi even played Fables? Playing Fable. I can't tell you, man. I can't tell you for real if he has or not. If I'm being honest with you. Character customization. Zobi, if you're still there, man,
he left a comment about 352. Asking about Microsoft exclusives. So he was there.
Yeah, trying to.
Hebot's here, by the way.
Oh shoot! Sorry.
So it seems like he's going to be relieving me. So I guess that's my. No, I'm just messing.
That's your cue.
Yeah, that's. No, but I am gonna. Hey, Hebot, what's up, man?
I think his mic's muted right now.
Am
I in?
Yeah, you in. So Hebot, man, I'm a little mad at you because we're friends, right? We're friends, but you did not tell me how great OLED was, and I know you got an OLED TV.
So, he did a video on it.
Yeah.
OLED is fucking fantabulous, brother.
Yes. My LG OLED just arrived today. I'm still playing with the settings, and just looking at the games, man. Like Gotham Knights is the perfect game for OLED. I actually feel kind of bad that I didn't play Gotham Knights on the OLED. Now looking at it, man.
Well, that's why I told you. That's what you saw when I took the pictures. They look so good. Remember, I was posting up pictures.
Yeah. Oh, because you know what? I thought they were screenshots. I'm sorry. I thought they were screenshots, man.
No. Those are from my actual gameplay. I'm not. What I look like to you? One of these frauds?
Yeah. No, man. I thought you got the screenshots like you took it. You know how you could capture
like from a website or something?
No, from your Xbox.
Oh no, it was. I took screenshots of everything while I played. Yeah. But since you're taking it from the OLED panel, it displays the way that is being shown on the panel.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Once you go OLED, you don't go back, bro. It's a wrap.
Oh yeah.
It's a wrap. That's what I was trying to explain to my brothers when I was talking to E-Rock and I was talking to talking and even Sega Man. I told him, dude, OLED is the blacks and the white contrast. And the way the colors pop, there's no going back. It just looks amazing.
Yes.
It looks incredible.
Man, listen, when I started up Gotham Knights, because I wanted to check, because in Gotham Knights, whenever you're in Gotham, you're actually playing, it's nighttime, right? Dang, he dropped. Yeah, it's nighttime. And so when I saw that Dolby Vision logo pop up, like, this is gonna be something. Oh, there you are, Hebot.
I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, when you started off, drop the night. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the Dolby Vision logo popped up, and I was like, and then I started. I'm like, oh my goodness, I played a whole different game there.
Yeah. It looks incredible. Bro, I was the same way until I got it. When I got mine, I was like, holy shit. Remember, I got the Vizio that supports VRR and does 120. Right. So if I play, let's say, like when I play Flight Simulator, right? You could play with the VRR, and when you put it on and enable it, you can actually play it in 60 on the Xbox Series X.
Yes.
Right, with the VRR on. A lot of people don't know that helps do that. And it looks, oh my God, with the fucking OLED visuals, it looks like you're looking at a real plane being recorded in real time outside.
Right.
If that makes any sense. You get what I'm trying to say?
Right.
That's why I tell people.
I get it. I listen now that I'm officially an OLED owner,
you get it. Now you see. Yeah. It's like Sega, man. I mean, our brother Sega Forever did videos years ago where he started doing the TV stuff, like the heights and stuff. And he said in the videos, it's something you just can't explain. You have to see it.
Yeah.
If you don't see it, you're not going to understand. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, Zink. Sorry to cut you off, but Zink.
No.
I'm 100% going to try Gears later.
Wait till you see Gears High, especially Hive Busters, because Hive Busters supports Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ! It's to die for. It look insane. That's why I love. Like I can't watch. Like I said, once you go OLED, you don't go back. Not even QLED, which is quantum dots matches.
Yeah.
And not even the nano dots. The nano dots don't match it either. It's OLED.
I listen, because when I was doing my TV hunting, because I don't know if you remember, but I was looking for a TV since last year. I think I told you.
Well, remember that Chuck? I don't know if you remember. Chuck told you. Talk to Hebot. He about to tell you. Remember I was telling you?
Yeah.
Because I know about. I do. That's what I did as a trade, right? I do home theater installation. I know all the types of stuff when it comes to electronics and tech savvy stuff, and computer building. But again, it's just something you don't put out there, right? But when people around me that know me, they know, right? So that's why I'll have these arguments with these PC dudes and piss them the fuck off, but they don't know what they're talking about, right? And so I'm like, yo, whatever, dude. And then when I piss them off, then they try to shut me up. They go away. They try to make fun of me,
right?
Or whatever, right? Because like I keep telling people, PC doesn't even support Dolby Vision HDR.
You're right.
They don't have that feature. Okay, it's a feature that Xbox support. Same thing like DLI. They don't have those features. Same thing like actual proper Dolby Atmos surround. Some dude was trying to say, "Oh yeah, you could just firmware up there." I said, "No, the fuck you can't." Dolby Atmos surround has to be built in the actual graphic chip card or the sound card in order for you to get proper Dolby Atmos surround. You can't firmware update that shit. What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? And so, once you experience those things with the visuals and with the surround, bro, the gaming experience just ups itself to another level. You know what I mean?
Yes, it does.
So I'm glad you got it. Congratulations. I know they were on sale recently, so I guess you got it on the sale, right?
Yeah, I got it for $1,100, and when I saw that price, I couldn't pass it up, man.
Nice. Well, guess what? You're gonna be like, yo, you're not even gonna believe me. Sega Forever could tell you because I told them as soon as I got it. I got my Vizio OLED, right? And when I got that shit, it was the year it first came out, but for some reason, the VRR wasn't working correctly, right?
Right.
So since it wasn't working correctly, the TV was originally like $1,600. I got it for $900 on sale.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a hell of a sale.
And it's a 55-inch, mind you.
Yeah.
So I got it for $900 on sale, and my kids helped me buy it. I paid like half, and they helped me pay for the rest. And that's how I picked it up. But that TV is still goes for a good price because it's the best picture quality for the best price. You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot of people thought, oh, it's video, it's not gonna look good. I said, that's not how it works. No, it's not a name brand. It's not the name brand. Yeah. It's how the TVs are built. Now,
Yeah,
what
exactly.
the difference is in LG, right?
Mhm.
They'll use better parts of what is already in the TV,
Yeah,
so
well,
it might last a little longer.
yeah,
You get what I'm
yeah.
saying?
For my research, it seems like LG makes OLEDs in general.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
I guess other OLED members, I mean TV manufacturers buy their OLEDs from them or something like that. So that's what makes theirs so good. Also, Goggle posted he also has the Vizio OLED. And here's the thing: I was actually looking for
Oh
that
yeah, Google
TV,
Post to
but it's
tell you.
nowhere.
Yeah, yeah.
It's nowhere to be found.
What?
Every single time I look for the Vizio OLED before I got to LG,
Oh,
it's
because
sold
they
out.
stopped. No,
It's
no,
sold
no.
out.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. They stopped distributing them
Ah, okay.
because they're supposed to be making a new one for the end of the holiday this year, for the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
you're not wrong. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
They stopped it.
They must
But
have stopped distributing and put it on sale because
no,
every
no,
single
no.
time sold
What I
out,
was going
sold
to
out.
tell you was, if you go to like Amazon
Mhm,
or like eBay,
mhm.
there's people selling it. They're brand new in box for like a nice amount of change because it's a good ass TV.
Yeah.
Remember, it have VRR. It's 2.1 VRR support.
Right.
And it's an actual OLED that does 2.1 HDMI. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like imitation or wannabe like they do with some of these Sony TVs that they give you an imitation version of fucking HDR and shit like that.
Yeah. And then charge your arm and a leg.
And then try to act like it's the real shit. Like I remember when they've implemented that fake implementation of HDR on the PS4 for Uncharted.
Uh-huh.
Man, that shit was horrible. That shit looked like ass.
Mm.
And then that was another argument because all last generation, if you remember, when people would be like, bro, I don't know what's the big deal with you guys always talking about 4K resolution. 1080p is good enough. It looks beautiful. You remember that bullshit?
Yeah, I remember.
And I was like, yeah, dude, the reason why you're saying that is because you don't know what it is to have real 4K until you see it and experience it. You're not going to know. And what happened? As soon as their games came on PS5, when we all know it wasn't even real 4K, that shit was like 1440p. Oh my God, this shit looks incredible. Look at anything on Xbox. Remember? I was like, oh,
when the PS4 Pro had that fake 4K.
Well, it did 4K on that game. Remember that racing game that the cars looked like little ants? It was small as hell. It did 4K on games like that, like little indie games.
Oh,
You know what I mean? But
big games.
not the high demanding games, no. But we did have
zero games are 4K and zero games are 60 frames.
Right. We had real games that were high quality, like Gears 5, like Forza, that were in Halo even, that were actually in 4K and 60 frames or in 30. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
During the Xbox One X. You know what I mean? Not the Xbox Series X, the Xbox One X.
Yep. Recore.
You know what I mean?
Recore had that amazing update when this One X first.
Oh yeah. Have you played Recore with the 60 frames? Oh
yeah,
man.
yeah. I got gameplay on my channel up about it.
Yeah. That shit looks incredible. I love Recore. Recore's such a game such a good foundation for a new series.
Man, you know what I love about Recore? It was like that perfect mix of old school and modern gameplay. You know, how for example, when you fought the enemies, you had to match the colors with your weapon. And then some of them had like green, so yellow and blue ammo could hurt the green ones and stuff.
Building each of your dedicated building each of your dedicated animals that were cybernetic, like the monkey, the dog, the robot, that would help you to get to other areas that were undiscovered that you couldn't get to unless you used them.
Yep, and then and then they had the free update that gave you that tank.
The Segway, yeah. It looked like a Segway where you could drive everywhere. Yeah. And they also had the time. What's it called? What's they call it when they put those spots that you can travel fast to one place or another? Fast travel.
Yeah.
They added fast travel because when my son played it the first time, he didn't have fast travel. When I played it, had fast travel. He was like, "Damn, I wish I would have played it with the update because that's just so much better." Yeah.
And also the platforming was awesome because you could use the spider. I forgot what the spider one's name was.
And the powers. And the powers that the monkey had, the powers that the dog had, the ability to search in areas to find stuff that were hidden in the ground. Yep. And then they implemented finally the actual weather effect where certain things when the weather came out and it was strong would disappear, and then when it would go away, it would reappear new areas where you could go underground.
And let's not forget another great aspect was the caves, and
Yes,
and dungeons and stuff. Those are really
yes.
creatively done too.
And the caves is where the graphics highlighted the most because it was like a level, so the details were really high. It was really nice. I fucking love Recore. I still say it was a good game.
Old school Zelda fans should really love a game like Recore.
Oh yeah, even Metroid.
Yeah,
Metroid fans, shit, it's a lot like Metroid in many ways. I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers. They said that's why I said if it was a game that was on Nintendo, they would have praised that shit. Like it was a Nintendo exclusive, they would have praised that shit.
Yeah.
They would have never gotten any flack or hate for a fact. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that was
for
a great
fact.
game, man. That was a great game. For it to be $40, they had a lot of content too.
Shit, if you find that shit,
open world game.
Yes, open world, yes, sir. And after it had the update, they're playing the best version because you got all the things that it was meant to have in the beginning.
Yep. You got 4K HDR and FPS boosts on that game.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The only thing that pissed me off with Microsoft with them is that Armature Studios was saying before they got acquired by, I think, was Embracer.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying, pretty openly that they really wanted to come and do a sequel if Microsoft was willing to let them do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
And that should get me mad because they didn't even do it. I don't know if it was because they were doing the other acquisitions, but that shit got me mad that they didn't give them enough.
Which is odd because they picked up Playground and Undead Labs, so it's not like they don't have a history of just buying the guys who didn't turn on them last gen, basically. So, I wish that I don't know what fell through between them, but it would have been nice if they were added to the Xbox family as well.
Well, you saw on the list they were trying to buy. It says that they were looking to prospectively buy the people who did the gun. Mm-hmm. Developers who did the gun. They're trying to buy that.
That's right. That would be.
It's on the list.
That'd be.
It's on the fucking list. Shit, they try to buy the motherfuckers that did Returnal.
Oh, that's right. Before Sony got them. Well, that's no.
I think those guys went to Sony first after the Microsoft made the offer because they started with Sony. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And they were kind of felt like, well, they gave us our first opportunity. We should go to them first. Even though Microsoft made us an offer, and that's probably why they took the offer. You know what I mean?
Right. Because
that's what happened with Ninja Theory, and that's what happened with the guys who did Psychonauts, Double Fine.
Yeah.
They started with Microsoft. They gave them their first opportunity. They said that's why they felt that it was the best fit for them to be acquired and be part of the Microsoft ecosystem and family. And it makes sense. It's like Naughty Dog. When people went nuts and when they said that Sony bought them, nobody was surprised. Everybody's like, "Oh, I mean, that makes sense."
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, like we're not stupid. They've been always associated with them. And then the other little projects they made, like Fuse and Song of the Deep, and obviously Sunset, nobody tried to even bother to play it because it wasn't exclusive to PlayStation. And they got mad at that shit. So it's whatever. But yeah, man. Yeah. I definitely would like to see them go back and let them do a sequel.
Hey, about your mic.
Yeah.
Record deserves
it. That would be nice. That would be nice. But you sound a little off there, Hebot. I don't know if you got a phone call or what.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? You guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh no, it's because my daughter calls, so it cuts off to the phone call every time.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, we figured.
I'm on the phone.
MS never made an offer. They were just looking at companies. Well, a lot of that stuff got put on hold too when the Activision deal.
Yeah.
I think he's commenting on what you guys are talking about. When the Activision deal kicked in, it was like, but if you notice that Game Pass and the stuff that's coming out from Microsoft right now, Microsoft is working with these guys. I'm answering Dusa's comment. Microsoft is definitely working with these guys. Like you heard the comment from Sega. Now, whether they're going to go straight up buy everybody, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're going to straight up buy everybody, but who they're going to purchase and how much closer they're going to work with people and how it all pans out, that's still happening. And they're going to buy because they said they were going to buy people.
I still think they're gonna buy Sega because of the comment they said.
Yeah,
Because they said that the only company that shows them that they have real value for their things has been Microsoft.
yeah.
And that's saying a lot. That means, from everybody else, they probably show them the most respect, interest. You know what I'm trying to say?
When you look at the
Um,
suite of games that Sega's coming out with,
yeah.
they would fit perfectly with Microsoft. Because I'm talking across the
Plus,
board. Yeah.
plus, think about this too. It may be something small, but why is it that those documents, right? When everything went down with the Saturn, with PlayStation, right, and Sony, why is it they decided to release it now after all these years to kind of prove that Microsoft is right about how Sony does business all this time? They could have been done, and they never did until now. I just think they really have a really tight knit relationship with Microsoft. And if this finally finalizes, they can actually go forward with the bid because they said it's not off the table, not right now, but it's not off the table. That's basically what Sega said.
I see a lot of people online saying, "Well, they'll wait out." It's like, dude, I don't.
Huh?
This new mic. You guys are dealing with a new Microsoft right now. You can the look on Phil's face and the testimony that he gave. Look, I said this on another video. I'll say it again here. This is not Phil hanging with Reggie Fees and me, and who's the other dude?
Right,
There's
right.
Oh
And Sean
yeah,
Layden
yeah.
or somebody like
Yeah,
that.
Sean Layden,
Sean
yeah.
Layden. Like I saw the picture of them, and they look like they were tight. And these are not those times, right? And I think Phil finally realized, look, Jim Ryan's a prick. And it shows that he's a prick for the court documents that came out. Some of the the cojones on this dude to ask for the stuff that he asked for. Not
Oh
taking
yeah.
it seriously, just being a prick. And I think like Phil's like, okay, look, this is stuff that we've talked about, right? Especially me and Hebot. We talked about this at nauseum with the way Sony is. And I think it's just a different Microsoft now. So I don't think anything's off the table. Uh, so I mean, if they announce like within a week or two that they're looking at Sega, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Because it is a
Well,
content. So
remember remember, I don't know if you guys saw not that long ago, where Aaron said we have some pretty exciting announcements for the Tokyo Game Show and Gamescom. Remember he said that in the tweet not too long ago?
I saw the Gamescom. I didn't see Tokyo Game Show.
Right. Well, I know he said for Tokyo Game Show as well. It was talking about in general.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did the announcement there.
That would be so cool at Tokyo Game Show. Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Because it's their homeland. It would make a lot of sense because everybody will hear it from that point, will know about it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Dude,
Because it's at their E3 basically, right?
if they do that at the Tokyo Game Show, you think, dude, we're gonna have a telethon, we're gonna have a telethon podcast that you guys wouldn't believe. We're gonna go through that.
We're gonna go Jerry Lewis style for like 4 days.
Yeah. You checking in and out because
No,
right? He bought like the thing that got me, like what really put me on about Sony, dude, is the relationship between Sega and Treasure and how that fell apart. Treasure used to do some really good games for
Oh
Sega.
yeah, yeah.
And then all of a sudden that thing went sour. Now the thing was there's something between Treasure and Sega but I never believed that, dude. I was like, no. And then as other companies started doing it, I was like, okay, this is jacked up, right? So this is why I have no sympathy for like a lot of Sony guys. Like one guy I was arguing with on Twitter, where he's trying to tell me something about the case, and I'm like, I don't care, dude. I just want you guys gone.
Yeah. He did.
I don't care. He's like trying to explain stuff to me. I just don't want-
That's perfectly put, but that is so funny. Like, oh,
That was
man,
fucking cold turkey, right? Unlimited.
Yeah, that was good. I
This
like
dude trying
that.
to
He's like, I don't care, dude. I just want you motherfuckers gone.
Yeah, dude. I'm like he's trying to reason with me and stuff. I'm like, no, dude. This is my line right here, dude. I just if E-Rock's like I can't say it as entertaining as E-Rock, but man, E-Rock brings that point almost up to it's like what do you say? We're gonna pop a bottle. We're gonna do all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm with that, dude. Look, dude. I'm not as eloquent and vocal as E-Rock. I'm 100%. That happens. I'm gonna be there, right, dude? I'm seriously, dude, because I'm done. At this point, I'm done. It's just it's time to move on. It's time for gaming to go through its cycle, right?
Yeah, you know what? They're going out sad, so it is what it is.
Now, that's their Dude, all the dirty they did,
Stop
man.
lying.
That's one great thing about this week. All the dirty
Yep.
they did got exposed.
Oh, that was beautiful. I love
Yeah.
how exposed they are.
Yeah.
Hey,
People,
did you see? Did you guys see how bad the dirt came out with Lina Kahn and all that stuff? She was doing illegal shit.
Oh, that's her license wasn't even up to date. Like
Jesus.
like her, she was so incompetent that she was so incompetent that I understood. Now I was like, okay, yeah, she works for the government. That's how incompetent she
yeah.
was. That's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, she's a government employee. All right, I get it now. I get it now.
did you see
That's
Tux?
a shame.
Did you see Tux? I listened to Tux, like I was listening to Tux video, and I could feel Tux. I knew where he was going, right? And then Tux said, because I know he works for the VA. I work federal too. And then Tux was saying, now look, y'all. Tux was
Yeah.
like, the federal government. And then when he started doing it, I started laughing because I could tell he was going down that road. And he's 100% correct. And that was put on blast. But when she was getting grilled so bad, dude, I was like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
government in that show.
Yeah, Tug be funny though when he's saying them shits in the videos. When he goes in on the Lions, then boy, he says, "Fuck the Sony pony" like 13 million times.
And it's what you need Tuck. You need a
Yeah.
Tuck.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
He's the course correction. Like when I sit there going like, she's getting roasted bad, and then Tuck pops in my mind.
Tug got more. Listen, Tug got more integrity, and he got more like loyalty and charisma than half those dudes like Marlon and all the motherfuckers that play fake, like MBG. Like he keeps it real. Those motherfuckers is fake.
Yeah.
That's right, Tuck.
Even if he doesn't know more than they do, he's more about the truth and has more integrity and loyalty than the motherfuckers.
Yep. Hey man.
He doesn't
Listen, I'll take a Tuck Master over someone like MBG 100
For real, in a heartbeat.
Like, no,
absolutely.
nobody's more. He's like the fakest dude ever because I know for a fact. I mean, I know that there are other Xbox guys who jump ship, but
Mhm.
he's the one that I know with certainty was making the those Xbox videos. Like man, Xbox exclusive looks great, doesn't it? And then literally overnight, turns and hates it. And
Mhm.
and it wasn't casual. It was so extreme that it's like, okay, this dude's just fuck. He's just always been fake. He's just always been fake, and he's just doing whatever it is that gets his channel going.
Well, dude, if you remember when he was first there, he was like, "Oh, I love Halo. I've been playing Halo since the early days. Since the first one, I've always been a big Halo fan." And yet, when Halo 5 came out, because everybody was trying to shit on it, remember that's when he turned cold.
Yeah.
That's when he started saying, "Oh, well, you do this. Halo 5 not good enough." Da, 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 da. You don't remember? That's when he went turned cold.
Yeah.
And then he tried to say Halo fucking Infinite. Halo Infinite, it's garbage. I'm like, dude, you ain't played the game. Anybody that plays Halo Infinite is not going to call it garbage because they know how good the game is.
Right.
I don't give a fuck who you are. You saw E-Rock. He's not a big Halo fan. And he fucking loved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's a fun game. It's awesome, actually. Just a live
That's what I said. I was like, get that nonsense out of here, bro. These dudes are so full of shit. Like, you did not play the fucking game. And just because you play multiplayer don't mean you played the game. You didn't play the campaign. You didn't play the fucking actual story. You don't know what's going on. Stop with that bullshit.
No, a lot of them play for 5 minutes, base their opinion off it, call it trashed, and move on. They'll
play it.
Some of these dudes just watch a video and then come up with it.
Eliminate. It's gotten so bad that these motherfuckers will actually play it. They'll like it and won't say that they like it just to fit the bill of the narrative. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's even worse.
Did you guys see
that's even worse. Exactly. That's how bad it's gotten with these things.
Did you see Gogo's comment? Sony might want to cancel their deal. Don't want to advertise for COD when it's MS. They're bitter. Dude, I said this, Gogo. I said this on another video. I said I'd actually respect Jim Ryan if he didn't do the deal.
Right.
I'd actually respect him.
Right. I remember you saying that. That's a fact.
I would.
Well, I mean, listen, Sony is what is called a lose-lose situation. They signed a deal, they fund Microsoft. They don't sign the deal, they lose Call of Duty, and it'll be their own fault for it, by the way, because Microsoft has
their fault.
Oh yeah,
the exposure, the dirt, that was your fault.
Yeah,
They
actively chose to go to various countries, try to petition to stop this. Failed in 39 countries, by the way. Going to be 40 after this week. So failed in 40 countries all they did as a result, all they did was expose themselves and prove Hebot and Sega Forever right. I mean,
Yes.
how much of a failure could this have been?
That's fine.
I mean, you two, along with guys like E-Rock and 100, should be on the largest victory lap ever because stuff that y'all say. If I went to y'all channels and clicked on oldest and watched your oldest videos, the stuff y'all are saying then 7-8 years ago is what was exposed in 2023. You couldn't be more right than that. Miss Cleo wasn't this accurate with her predictions.
And by the way, thank you, because I did see that the comment you said about my older God of War video.
Oh yeah,
which is true. That point that you pointed out is true. That how badly fixed the camera is, you don't feel the sense of scale or freedom either. You had a good point.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I mentioned it because it's an older one. I haven't looked at it, but hold on.
Yeah, that game sucks so bad. But yeah, I just happened to see that, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this video, and I had to leave my comment because that video was brilliant. If you don't know what video I'm talking about, Sega Forever, about 5 years ago when God of War 2018 came out, Hebot did this amazing video, but when he was showing the gameplay, and he will hold the controller up during the action scenes, it's like you're not even playing the game. You're not.
Yeah.
You just,
well, it's like that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yo, Unlimited. It's like that. No cap. When I put that shit on Twitter, Lego had a field day because I put it up in a video form and motherfuckers were going right. It's the same way in Days Gone. There's a whole segment where you're on a motorcycle with your brother-in-law and you don't control the shit, but the shit's riding. It looks like you're controlling it. And I put up the controller and I showed her, look, you don't even control this shit. Like, what the fuck is this?
That's why everybody loves Hebot.
I'm like, this is garbage.
That was so like you cannot expose a game better than what Hebot did, man. That was spectacular.
Well, this is the messed up part though now, and this is what the Sony guys are going to get their own medicine, right? Is that there's people doing that now. The same thing that Hebot's doing, people are doing it now. They did it for Final Fantasy.
That's what they did since the PS1. When they were showing those CG cuts, they're like, yeah, this is the game. People are like, no way. And then when you play the game with these little small dwarf-looking pre-rendered characters, they're like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, I remember back then that shit was hysterical.
Yeah, it was.
Meanwhile, you had games on fucking Dreamcast, like Skies of Arcadia, that was fucking polygon, real rendered characters that looked gorgeous.
Yep.
That was funny.
You know?
So Gogo wrote, deal's pretty much done. It's just a matter of when COD and Diablo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, remember this Monday, Activision is going to be removed off the stock market because they're going to be merged with Microsoft and Xbox. So yeah,
they can literally finalize it tonight, and they could do that. They have every right to. Yep. The government said, the court said, we're not going to give them the appeal. No way. We denied the appeal. Hell no.
So Gogo, the only thing that's driving me nuts right now is that these people, for some reason, are stuck on Mikey Barra, not realizing that Mikey Barra came from Microsoft, and he's
why? What happened? What did they do?
So for the Diablo thing, Mikey Barra says, no, we're not going to put Diablo in Game Pass, and of course he has to say that because the deal was
exactly.
So now everybody's like, well, Mikey Barra said that they're not going to bring it in there, and then you're just like, see, this is why people reading is fundamental, guys.
Yeah. First of all, why do people act like what he said that applies to right now applies for in perpetuity?
Right, or in the future. Right. And
I'm telling you guys,
everybody that has any type of just common sense, you don't even need to be savvy. Just common sense in general. Every business matures and changes their structure as time goes on. Everybody knows this.
Look, for all I'm sorry, no. Any ponies out there, any of you guys that are pony bots or whatever, get used to this because this is the future. This is what's going to happen when Phil them say. There's one thing about Phil, and especially with Satya, like just Microsoft in general, right? When they say stuff like that, that is not. It's not something to say just to say it, right? When Microsoft and whoever represents them, especially on that level, say stuff, right? Stuff moves. Right, there's analysts that are looking at stuff moves, and I'm talking stock market, money, all of that business. Right, so when they say stuff like that, don't take it lightly. Things can be misconstrued, of course, right?
Yes,
they be direct about what they're going to do moving forward, right? And everything's in place right now that supports that, right? They do want to be the Netflix of gaming, And I know some people don't like that comparison. Well, I'll do the comparison because I love Netflix, right? And the great thing about Netflix, there's stuff about Netflix I don't like. There's stuff about Netflix I do like. But the stuff that I like about Netflix, I can just occupy that space, and that's pretty much what Microsoft's going to do with Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's going to allow
Game
you to.
Pass, my
You saw
brother.
that there. Oh,
Okay,
Go ahead, Unlimited. You go first.
no, I was just saying. You saw that they're finally testing out the family plan out here in the
Yes.
U.S.
Yes.
Are they?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. How are they doing it through the preview program?
It started this week. They're finally starting the family
Well,
plan.
how through the preview program?
Oh, hold on. Let me make sure because I just remember seeing it. I read it during work, so I didn't process the information. I just remember.
Anyway,
yeah. Let me find out.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, so they're definitely following Netflix, dude. And that's the great thing about having a Netflix is Microsoft can kind of pick and choose like how they move forward with Game Pass. Like what applies to Game Pass, right? Because it's two different. I understand it's two different types of things, right? One's game, one's entertainment, or movies. But the thing about it is that there's things that they can pick from Netflix, which they've been doing, right, to avoid any kind of pitfalls, right? Like they got rid of that dollar program, they brought it back. I like that. I like that they're doing that.
But brother, forever.
Yeah.
The other thing too that people fail to understand that I always try to point out, and you know what, other thing, you need to stop agreeing with me. Get your ass in here soon. I miss talking to you too. I haven't heard from you in a while. But anyway, the difference, like Game Pass is even above Netflix in the sense that you can buy your games. You can buy your games and you can get them at a nice discount as well. Unlike Netflix, you can't buy none of that. So if they put something in and take it out, that's it. It's gone. You're not going to have access to it. If they have any original content, like let's say Stranger Things, they barely put those things on disc or physical. You can't even own them either. You see what I'm saying? So
I think that's
the
smart.
Game Pass, you can own all that stuff, whether it's digital and 90% of the time physical, even. You know what I mean?
I think it's smart for Netflix to do that because they do rely a lot on the subscription, whereas Microsoft.
Yeah. I'm just saying that Game Pass is above it in the sense that you can own whatever's in there.
Yeah.
As opposed to Netflix, you can't really own it, right?
Yeah. Me and Unlimited was talking about that earlier because I couldn't get the older games on discs. Some of the games for Yakuza, so I ended up buying.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
So to go to your point.
Hey,
what's up, Fire Boss? Sorry.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, so like Broken Games, yeah, I saw his cry, dude. That was sad. And then if you watch, what's that dude's name, man?
Sounds hilarious.
Yeah, I forgot. He's on Twitter, man. I gotta look him up, man. But he's funny, dude. Yeah.
Those dudes keep saying we don't care. This don't affect me in any way, but yet they keep doing 800 videos about the same topic.
Yeah. Hey, I listen. I saw some of them were going to boycott. I saw one dude said that Sony should ban Call of Duty off Sony. It's been hilarious. It's hilarious. I love Sony meltdowns. I love them PlayStation.
Well, the new narrative that's going around, if you didn't see it, or you probably did, I'm pretty sure, but they were like, you see, Sony don't need Call of Duty because they already said that they're not going to give the dev kits for PS6 so that they can make the next game on the console. I'm like, oh my god.
Yo, listen, like I posted, I think Sega Forever saw this, but I posted that they suffer from short-term memory because let's not forget a few months ago they literally said two things: one, Call of Duty funds their first-party games, and two, they can't survive without Call of Duty. So you know, good luck.
That's just a scare tactic because they want to be, you know, like a little kid that gives a tantrum until he gets what he wants.
Yeah,
that's what they were trying to do. I'm gonna give a tantrum until we get what he wants, but the court was like, boy, if you don't sit your ass over there in that corner, I'm gonna kick your fucking face.
No. The court was like, hold on. You can't survive without Call of Duty, but you got exclusive games and content, but you don't want Xbox to have exclusive game and content. No, it don't work like that.
Well, you can't survive for it, but you're threatening not to give them the dev kits for your next console. Make it make sense, bro.
Yeah. Sony, you're in danger. Why are you shooting yourself in the foot? See, Sony, this is how stupid Sony's like, hey man, it's dry out here. We need some water. Here's some water, and they dump it on the ground. And like, well, why you dump the water on the ground? It was too hot. Like, you motherfucker, you're just killing yourself then at this point.
Right.
Because Microsoft has given them the olive branch how many times? Listen. Brad Smith literally carries around the paper with him 24 hours a day that Sony could sign at any time, right, to save their asses. And so Sony's going to go down fighting. and that's going to be on them.
Right.
If they ban COD, it'd be so. That's just that'll just speed everything up.
They're gonna hurt themselves more than actually make it so better for them.
Yeah, because then everybody will just I mean, I think they're gonna do that anyway. The deal is done, but I mean, I got my own opinion. I've done videos on this kind of stuff, man, where I talk about it, dude. And it's like everybody's like, they can't survive without PlayStation. I'm like, okay, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Like, you guys overestimate.
It's going to be the other way around.
Yeah, they overestimate the power of the PlayStation brand.
Yeah, dude. They got infinite faith in PlayStation for some reason, and I just don't know why.
Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah, you guys can roll with that, but when it turns, then you guys will be, like we talked about earlier, though, they never acknowledge their failures.
Yeah, so one thing that came out was that Microsoft, I guess, said that they predicted between Indiana Jones and Starfield, PlayStation could have had about 10 million sales, right? And now every article is lying because they're pretending it's 10 million per game when they meant 10 million total. So they're lying about that, but they're also trying to spin
they did.
So they're also trying. Yeah, so they're also trying to spin a heat-bot of, Xbox is sacrificing sales to make it exclusive, and it's like, guys,
it's a bad thing, right?
Yeah,
right, like it's a bad thing.
Like, guys, these companies have something called research and development. They got experts who do the math. They got all these people who break down how this stuff works. So they know that they're going to be fine. Listen, Phil literally said right after they closed Bethesda, we don't need PlayStation money. And for some reason they swear the guy's lying. Like, the guy, Phil Spencer, be literally under oath, and they call him a liar. It's like the same way that he was lying.
It's the same way that he said many times that the reason why they do what they do in compliance with Sony is because they want to have them around and respect them as a competition in the industry and shit like that. They don't need them, but they just they feel like they try to give them respect even though they don't deserve it. You know what I'm trying to say? That's basically what he's trying to say, in his own words.
I think that ship is sailed, though. I think Phil is done.
Well, Phil's not stupid. Phil knows the dirt. That's why he told Peter Moore to shut the fuck up when they did the IGN interview. I'll never forget that shit.
Yeah. Well, Godfather Phil told Hitman Matt to get the money and sent Agent Sarah Bond after them. So
Matt Booty's the new character. Matt Booty's the new character in Perfect Dark next to Joanna Dark.
Yeah, exactly, man. Hitman Matt, man. So Godfather, you got Godfather Phil at the top, Hitman Matt on his right, Secret Agent Bond on his left.
Agent Bond.
Yeah, Secret Agent Bond on his left. He got a team. He got a real team.
Yes, sir.
They're like good cop, bad cop, though, man. Sarah Bond kill him with kindness. Matt Booty trying to eliminate him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That Booty said it. He's like, man, listen, we can outbuy them anytime.
Yep.
All those pony bots. Where's Matt Booty? Where's Matt Booty?
Where's Matt Booty?
There you go. Now you know.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. You got your answer.
It was funny because years and years ago, I remember reading how he's the one who's putting these acquisitions together. And so for years, I was like, hey, man, we need to give this guy respect. And so now he's finally getting the respect he deserves, man. And that's why I call him Hitman Matt going forward.
It's like remember when Phil had his title, right? It was during the beginning of Xbox 360. I mean, middle of 360, I think, into Xbox One. And I remember when people used to be like, "Oh, they only got those games at launch because of Don Matrick." I'm like, no, that was Phil that made all those deals for Rise and things like Killer Instincts, right? And the Titanfall. That was all Phil doing that.
Yep.
And they're like, Phil didn't do that. Yes, he did. That wasn't no Don Matrick. He had Matt Booty's position. What are you talking about?
Right.
Didn't Matt come over from Sony, right?
From Midway.
Midway, yeah.
Oh, from
Midway.
Midway.
From Midway. Yeah. He was the head of Midway.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh man, no wonder he hates Sony. I didn't know that.
Yep. He-Bot's absolutely right, man. So he had his. So he been in the trenches before he got the Xbox promotion.
Yeah. Look what Dale put. I've been celebrating so much. Yeah, Dale, you was on fire.
Yeah, I know.
She was laying down the smackdown. And then Gogo said I was on Resetter, total ponytown, lots of ponies trying to pretend to be PC gamers.
Oh, Rasteria. He was on that fucking forum, Rasteria. Oh yeah, those motherfuckers over there. That's the only place they find any kind of relevance.
Dude, the PC
Them
gamers
motherfuckers
are worse.
swab,
The PC
bro.
gamers are worse on the ponies than we are. PC gamers are
Yeah.
going on these dudes, man.
Yeah, PC.
It's funny. Oh, how the tides have turned.
Yeah, the only thing I like about them PC gamers is that they stole y'all gimmick and their channels blew up from stealing your stuff. So that's the only thing I don't like about them, man. They stole everything y'all be saying. They stole it, and for some reason there are a lot of them too.
Oh
it's not just for Tenga or oh no there's a lot of them that I be seeing on YouTube, and every time I click, like, I'll click on their videos thinking they're Xbox dudes. Well, and then they always got to mention for some reason, well, I'm on PC, so consoles don't matter. I'm like, why are you making these videos then?
Yeah. And why you making 90% of your videos all about console gaming?
Yeah,
shit is terrible. And well, they can't make game content about PC because PC dry. The only reason PC stays relevant is because they get everything that console get, because most of the stuff that's on PC, and I'll say that 100 million times, is shovelware. There's no control. And since it's all self-published, they bring out all types of games to PC. It could be about you, I don't know, taking a shit in the fucking in the shitter. They don't care. They bring out anything. Motherfuckers, they have no control over there. There's no quality control. It's like fucking Atari, but digitally instead of physically. That's all it is. But they don't care because they don't buy their games anyway. And when they do buy it, they buy it when it's like $2. Yo, that should be making me laugh. They'll be like, yeah, I buy games. Look at my library. And there'll be like 500 games. And then when you go see, it's fucking 360 games, like old-ass OG games. Like, yeah, how much you bought it? You bought a buy 12 for $2 game? Because they do bundles like that. You get like 12 games for like $2. That's when they fucking buy it.
Yeah, I do want to ask a genuine. Well, if you don't mind, let me read Zink's comment first, and I want to ask you a genuine question. So Zink said Sarah Bond was bad cop Bond on the stand in court versus the FTC. Yeah, man. Yeah, you know, Phil doesn't run a gaming company. He runs a whole empire now, a mafia empire, if you will. So he got drug lords and hitmen working for him these days. But aside, let me ask you this, because I've always wanted to know this. Okay, I know that there are games like World of Warcraft that's never been on console, but what is the big say Starfield like PC only game that's not on console, if there are any, or even a Spider-Man like PC game that isn't on console?
There's none. It was supposed to be that game that was been in development for like 800 years and is still in beta form.
Star Citizen,
that one. That was the one that was supposed to be like the big Starfield. But that game has just been it's been in beta form for like 9-10 years.
Yeah.
He's still not finished. But, it's so big, it's gonna be so great and massive. 10 years later, game's still not done.
We need Dea in here. Dea could tell, like, probably speak more on the PC.
And Dea can vouch. I guarantee you she can vouch for me. Yeah. There's no big games that are dedicated only to PC. Yeah. That are like God of War or like, something like Assassin's Creed. There's nothing like that dedicated on PC.
Yeah,
all they have is shovelware stuff. They got a lot of like old retro shit.
Yeah, I was always curious about that when it came to PC gaming. Because I've never heard of, I can't think of a time I've seen, say, a PC version of Starfield that's only on PC that console guys don't get. But so I was just curious.
Shit. They were still playing Counter-Strike till like just a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
my son plays Counter-Strike.
For real? And Counter-Strike has been on PC since like what? Since like the 64, since the Saturn era.
Oh yeah, that's an old game. Yeah,
and they've been playing that shit religiously, like it's the brand new game.
Yeah, since like '99, I think.
Yeah, bro. Like that tells you everything. They play RuneScape.
That's a really old game. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Those type of top-down RPGs, they got fair amount of exclusive games. That's right. They do got a lot of those.
I think that's why they get salty, because now Microsoft and Xbox get a lot of those games on the console now. Like Diablo. Diablo used to be big on PC.
Yeah.
But now we get it on console as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's still pretty big on PC though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It doesn't take away from the PC audience, but that just means that the people that play consoles could also enjoy it, right?
Right.
Dude, I remember having an argument, I think it was last year, with this PC head on Twitter, and I said, dude, tell me a reason for me to own a PC. if I can mod, emulate, have backwards compatibility that's native, brand new technology that's not even available on PC, my library plus the PC library, if I have Steam, I could play my account via cloud. Why do I need a PC? If I'm only paying a fraction of the cost of what you're paying for a fucking computer. Because you guys claim that you're playing on your PC. You're not doing work. We're not talking about doing work. Obviously, a PC can be for work, obviously. That's what most people use it. But if you're claiming you use it for gaming only, then I'm not missing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, whatever.
Yeah, and I know the way we install games and stuff that came from PC, and consoles kind of adopted it. But
What was that? I'm sorry.
The way we install games now, I know that started on PC and consoles.
Oh yeah. But that's because they're DRM, unlimited. On a PC, when you get a disc, right, and you buy physical, because I have bought Gears of War 1, for example, you're only allowed to install it 3 times. Once you install it the 3rd time, that disc has no value anymore.
Oh God, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never been a PC gamer, so
but they're not gonna tell you those little secrets. They're not gonna tell you that because somebody like Dea will. Dea will, because Dea has integrity. Dea's truthful. She's an honest person. She don't need to lie. But they'll keep it as a lie because then they'll know that'll be a talking point or an argument point to prove that PC is not as all cut up what it's cut up to be. Yeah, you could like and prefer PC because you got used to it, or that's what you played on, or that's what you grew up on. That's fine. I respect that, no problem. But stop coming over here telling console gamers you guys ain't shit. When we're playing games, we're not worrying about specs, we're not worrying about resolution, we're not worrying about power. Now that we get that privilege as well, yeah, we'll talk about it because we're experiencing it also. But again, we're experiencing it at what point? At for how much? For the fraction of a cost, because we can take our old consoles to GameStop or even Walmart, even Best Buys, because they have those programs now, get $200 back and just pay $300 for a $500 console. You see?
Right.
You can't do that with a PC. You can't take the brand new, your 940 car that you just bought, let's say a month ago, and return it for money. You can't do that. You can only sell it in the aftermarket. So that's all rhetoric talk. That's all stupid. That's what I say. I don't know why PC gamers invest so much time in arguing with console gamers, because we don't threaten them. But they always act like we're a threat, but yet they try to play it off like, oh, y'all not a threat to us. Y'all play in the inferior place. We're supreme. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So with the console guys, like the PC guys that I deal with, like that didn't bother me, because what it is like,
yeah, they never bother me. Absolutely.
No, but like the elitist part of it, like they're elitist to the core. Like they're elitist. They do their little comment. It's just like a rich person, right? They're like, oh,
right. They act like rich snobs. Yeah. That's a perfect example. Yeah.
But that's them, right? But the problem I'm having is that, look, I don't know if it's maybe this cross. I don't know. Like we're in different times. It's like somebody tells me they're a comic book guy. When I talk to them, they're not.
Right.
So with the PC guys, they're like those are the guys I actually work with. That's them. They don't really care about console. Like if it comes up, they're like, oh, whatever, console, peasants, whatever. But that's all you get from them, right? But the problem I'm having with PC guys now is like I think a lot of them are like either PlayStation PC, or they're they have a console or a PC. Right?
Well, you know what I've seen a lot too, second forever? And I don't mean to cut you off. Sorry about that.
No, good.
A lot of things I've been seeing now too is I'll go to I even saw this shit in GameStop. Like, I'll see somebody go in and they're like, oh yeah, I want to play Xbox. I want to get their games, this and that. It's like, hey, yeah, no, man, just play it on PC. That's the better place because you got all their games there. Yeah. And that's the type of shit they'll say. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? No, first of all, if you're a console gamer, you don't need to go play on a PC. Because it's 2 different experiences. That's number 1. Number 2, just as much as you can have little things in PC that they only have exclusive, there's some things as well in console. Like, for example, like what we were just talking about earlier, PC doesn't really support Dolby Vision HDR, which is a beautiful feature, right? The same way that PC has certain things like that we can do, like record in 4K without having to buy a 4K capture card separately for like $400. We could do it right on our console just with a hard drive. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I see like Gogo here, right? He says most PC gamers don't really console war at all. Yeah, That's the PC gamers. Like I work for IT,
Okay.
integrated tech center and stuff like that. So I do more of the data entry and admin support, right? But then all the guys I work with, they're like Gogo saying, most PC gamers don't really console war at all. Like we don't even have a conversations about game. Like we'll have a conversation about something, and when we talk about games, is they play board games.
Right.
Like, oh, are you playing this game? Say, do you want to join us? I'm like, oh no, I play on console. They're like, console. Oh, you mean like a console, like a Xbox? I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh, like that's it. That's as far as it goes. We don't get into some long drawn out. Sony's better.
So your speculation might be right.
Well, I just like I don't
Because
experience.
what you're saying, let me get this right. What you're saying is that the PC leaders that argue with us now, that are, that usually have something to say, right? Like a That's So Alex, right, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
They're really coming from the standpoint of that they used to probably play on PlayStation as their preferred console, and now they're on PC, so they make it into an arguing point because they don't like Xbox, right? That's what you're saying?
I'll say it this way. It's like me being a Marvel guy. Okay, I love Marvel comics, the comic books.
Right.
When I'm talking with Marvel fans, and that's the type of fan I am. I come from that fan age. Now, when I talk to the Marvel fans now, it's totally different, right? They're a lot more general. They're a lot more general. So that's what I mean.
Because the ones now are bandwagon jumpers. They weren't born into it like we were.
Yeah. So for me, like that's why I don't consider those guys PC elitists. Like a PC elitist is those guys I work with now.
Okay.
I got you. Yeah, they don't. This stuff like it doesn't like you're saying. They don't talk like that. They don't care. Like
right.
That's what an elitist actually is. An elitist is a person that doesn't care. It's basically what Loki told Nick Fury, right? Like why would a god care about it or something like that? They look at it in those terms. They look at it like they don't care
because they're comfortable in their place.
Yeah,
they're comfortable. In other words, they're comfortable with their position.
Well, then they don't take us seriously because they don't think about us.
Right, so they don't think highly of us. Right. Mm-hmm.
So when I hear a person talk about this, right, and they're involved in the console war, already I don't think you're a PC elitist. You might play on PC, you might prefer PC, but you're already dipped into the consoles, right? You play consoles, or you have an opinion about consoles. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I'm more old school, I guess, because I don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. I don't know. But hey, just real quick, guys. I'm gonna have to wrap this up because I didn't realize it was 12. I gotta go take my son to his.
No problem.
Which is too bad, man, because this chat is going. Oh, they I'm sorry.
Yeah. My mic messed up, so I was trying to see if you could send her a link, but
yeah, sorry. This is kind of an impromptu thing. What I'll do, guys, is
what he'll do is he'll schedule for Saturday's show for 3 a.m. So make sure you set your alarm for 3 a.m. He
already made the announcement that a holothon is coming, a 4-day podcast.
And you didn't hear him. We're doing the Sony Pony telethon. We're saving the endangered species called Sony ponies. And it's crazy. Their numbers are doing like crazy. The dodo bird, the Siberian tiger. And the Sony pony, almost extinct animal. Well,
they're almost like the panda bear. The panda bear is becoming extinct.
Yeah. So they're on the endangered species list. So we're going to try to save them in the next show. And you could do from 3 to 11. How does that sound, Dave?
I'll take over from 11:30 to 6 in the morning.
Yeah, there you go.
The only thing absolutely we won't do is have E-Rock and 100 on the same shift. Those two dudes, they get into it.
Then you sneak in Daya, Other Zing, and Sega Man, and then you finish off with
Fire Boss and the Realist.
Fire Boss, the Realist, and maybe you can sneak in Baka.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that would be cool. So the opening crew would be like probably 100.
Yeah.
Unlimited, yeah, we could do that. Yeah. No, but for real, I mean, we'll do it, guys. We'll do it. That's gonna be next week Friday. But then this is going to be a pop culture podcast.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Well, I mean, gaming is part of pop culture, so.
We'll still talk about gaming, but then
they're all connected now. They're all connected.
The other one will be centric to Xbox.
Yeah, for the love of everything. So Sony put movie trailers in their game shows now. It's all one thing. Dude,
they let them slide, dude. They let them slide. I was like, yeah, we see you. We see you guys. Man. We see you. Chat,
Yeah.
put those things in there. And then somebody else did it too. They put in another. They put in a trailer like for some show in another one. I was like, oh, okay, so we see how we're going. But I'm all for it, dude. And that's why I'm like, yeah, Microsoft, just do what you need to do. Put out what you need to put out. Like buy Netflix. I hope they.
He said by Netflix.
Yeah, I remember that rumor. That rumor was not too long ago.
Well, they invested in Netflix. You know that, right?
Yeah.
They invested like $20 billion because they want, I think, Netflix to distribute all their movies that are tied to games from here on to in the future. That's why Gears is the first one.
Well, I think that'd be a great revenue source for them too. I just want them to buy everybody. I don't care. I'm just like, yeah, buy everybody at this point. Yeah, and plus it'll give us content, and then the ponies. Oh. So, but real quick, guys, let's do our shout outs because
I need help.
Yeah, Unlimited, do you want to go first?
Yeah, man. It's your boy Unlimited Production. You can find me whenever the truth is needed.
Everybody there, though.
Yeah, other than that, man, great hanging out with you. I'm going back to calibrate my TV.
Yeah, dude, enjoy, man.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, yeah. The calibration part is always fun.
Now I'm going to buy a TV.
Oh, yeah.
After I pick up my son, I'm going to drop him off, and I'll go buy a TV, too.
I'll tell you, LED and OLED, it's a big difference, bro.
Yes, yes, massive difference.
It's when you see it, you notice it immediately. You're like, fuck. Yeah, absolutely, guys. It's Heban, the most powerful late podcaster. Always late, never on time. I pop in and out. No, I was just don't like always doing stuff. So I'm just glad that I was able to come in for a little bit and talk with you guys. Cut you off and keep ranting and stuff like that. Like my usual self. And hopefully, we can continue this marathon sometime next week for another 6 days and keep on pissing off the ponies, right? That's all. That's the best part about it.
Yeah, dude.
We're
gonna have more.
This was supposed to be a short one. I'm proud of you. It's only 2:56.
Yeah, actually, I'm running late, man. My son's like calling me up.
Right. Yeah, you guys can find my YouTube channel. Go check me out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. There's a lot of things I try to do. I'm gonna put some retro game stuff up today too soon.
Oh yeah, definitely check out Ebot stuff, guys, because he puts us in great content.
At least I try,
Yeah. So just really quickly, just to acknowledge the chat. Thank you everybody for being here. With great comments.
Oh yeah. Big shout out to the chat. Yep.
Yeah, you guys were on fire. Yeah, I will catch up next time for real. But then you guys know, Xbox All In channel. We bleed green over here, man. So if you guys bleed green, then definitely hook up with us. All right. So anyway, Xbox All In, we out.